What's up, everybody? It is the GRG podcast, episode 85. As you can see, we are light. I think everybody's still on vacation time. But regardless of that, I'm saying, the show must go on. And I'm saying, this is giving Knuckles the green light to just talk. So, you guys get ready for that. Anyway, other than that, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, most likely Livewire might pop his ass up in here. Donald Trump being late. He's got to be doing negotiations. This for the, to stop the shutdown. And so other than that, man, Lemetheus, he's got to spend time with the family. So totally up. Triple Cup Chuck, we have no idea where he's been incognito. I haven't heard anything from my boy Chuck. And so then, of course, Kaleidoscope and haven't heard from Kaleidoscope either. But regardless of that, man, we still got to keep it moving. So, man, thank you guys for coming out here, hanging out with us. Man, 2019. Let's get to it, man. Already bringing in my boy, man. This is kind of like, man, your third, fourth time being on GRG. OP, what's going on, man?
What's up, y'all? Just been chilling over here, right? I'm glad to be back on the show. Help out,
No doubt.
Yeah, bro.
No doubt.
But as far as game, bro, I just bought Assassin's Creed: Return to Arkham and Dragon Age Inquisition, so I got full play on me coming up.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. And then, of course, the myth, the legend, the mouth from the south, man, my boy, Baby Bot.
Hey,
Bloody Knuckles.
You already know I don't stop talking. I gotta keep talking. Gotta keep it going. Gotta keep it moving. Right? You know how I do it.
Energetic, no doubt.
Always. But man, gaming. I brought in the new year, right? Because I'm still on Red Dead. I'm never gonna finish. I'm stuck on chapter 4. I keep getting distracted, but I've also been trying to work through some of my backlog. Like last night, I was streaming Metro, and I forgot how fun and good that game is. But man, do I also forget sometimes how much the guns suck in it. But I'm really enjoying playing through that again, and I've been playing through DMC, the Ninja Theory reboot of Devil May Cry, and that's actually really good. I didn't give it much thought way back when it first came out because I was like, that's hashtag not my Dante.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of digging it now. I really
not my Dante for real. That's what you
said? Yes, I did. I don't care.
This man wilding. Goddamn, man.
All right.
I don't regret nothing.
This game falls looking straight at you.
Oh man.
I don't care. They can't. Okay. Look, I will not deny I was one of those fans who defended the original Dante, but after playing through it, like the story is actually really good, like way better than I thought it was. And I was just like, you know what? I can get over this look. I was like, I actually really like this.
Yeah, you can't hate the look, man. You really can't hate the look.
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely nice.
I mean, you can, especially when you're used to it for so long. But it was one of those things that after a while, I just like it stopped bothering me. And I was like, man, Ninja Theory really knew what they were doing with the story with this because it focused more on the relationship between Dante and Virgil.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay. That was some weird silence. I was just like, I thought you was keeping going.
Oh no.
Okay, all right.
Hey, there's some times where I take a breath, occasionally.
Okay, all right. Well, take a breath now. Anyway, let's go. Let's get on to it, man. And always, man, thanks for the chat up here, keeping it live. We're doing it. And man, the guests, we're gonna start having some guests come back to GRG since we're not as overloaded as we used to be. So get ready for that. We're starting off. I wanted to have the panel to have their full time. But like I said, man, it's people have to take care of business, and man, just got to keep doing it. So anyway, let's go on. No further ado, let's go straight to the first topic. And well, first off, that's rude of me because you know what? It's been 2 weeks, and we kind of been out there. How have you been, Knuckles? What you been doing? How was your New Year's Eve? How was your Christmas? That's rude of me, man.
Oh man, the holidays were good. I got to, for the first time in like 7 years, I got to actually be back home with my family for Christmas, and it was wonderful. I got to surprise my mom's, got to spend all that time with her. She was happy to have all the kids under one house, so it was something special, man. And then New Year's, shit, all I did for New Year's was I threw down some fajitas, man, got drunk. Like I got, you seen the pictures, I got stacked with alcohol, and I don't even remember like the 2 days afterwards. I woke up, drank, went to the bathroom, drank, went to bed, Drank like there was never a moment there wasn't a drink in my hand. The way it should be.
So basically, family reunion, and you destroy your liver. Okay.
There's not. It's not destroying your liver if you never had one to begin with.
Oh Jesus Christ!
What about you, OP man? How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's, man?
Bruh, I caught a bad cold from my little cousin over Christmas, so I slept the whole Tuesday, like Thursday and Friday. I slept the entire day, so I was mad because I missed some work too. But yeah, chill for the most part. It was nice. New Year's Eve was pretty cool. Spent some time with family. Drank my first champagne. I'm not a fan of alcohol, but that's a topic for another day.
Champagne is basically like drinking liquid gasoline. It's not for everyone. I'll say that.
It sure tastes like gasoline because that thing had a kick. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As for me, man, I didn't. I really didn't do too much. I mean, well, Christmas. I mean, we always go and travel out, spend time with the family and stuff like that. But New Year's, man, I'll tell you what, my old lady hit the sack at like she had to go to work. So I was off. So she went to sleep at like 10. I was like, no, come on, you got to stay up. She couldn't do it. So I guess that's old life, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I stayed up till 5 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? Chilling. I woke her ass up though. And when the ball dropped, gave her a kiss and said, hey, Happy New Year. And then moved around, sit there and got back on this, I don't know what I was playing Battlefield at the time. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm on this.
You were that Battlefield every time.
No, I've been no life in Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now for the last couple of days, man.
I know you've been no life in Origins because you just beat that and then started Odyssey.
Yeah, I was seeing. I was going to start. I was going to start something else, like because I still haven't really got into Shadow of War yet, and I was like, let me go ahead and hit that up. Or then there was another game that I was going to hit up, and then I got caught up playing Battlefield, and then Sir X-Man got me playing all other type of stuff. And then we was playing Street Fighter. I ain't played Street Fighter and Street Fighter Ultra in over about almost 2 years. So yeah, we had to try to shake off some of the rust. But man, I had a good time. And then we was playing Mortal Kombat, and that was a blast. So yeah, man, it was really fun. So other than that, man, we were blessed, had a great Christmas, man, and good New Year, man, and ready to start off it right. So anyway, let's get on to the first topic, man, and that is talking about 2018, 2019. And now, since the year is completely over of 2018, now we can actually look back and reflect on what was the most disappointing game of 2018. I mean, it could be overrated. It could be just absolutely bad. Everybody hyped it, whatever. But I'm gonna start with you, OP. What was the game that was the most disappointing for you in 2018?
Ooh, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Chile, bring it.
What? Did you what?
Yes. God of War is disappointing, so that's overrated.
Stop it, bro. Don't bring the hate mail. Don't let the hate come already.
For this way, I have nothing against people who like this game. If you like it, that's great. Me, I found too many issues in it that either people didn't notice or just overlooked. But like,
hang on, gotta pay the bills. Shout out to Sir X-Man with the $20 make you holla. He said, I'm not playing no more Street Fighter with you guys. I'm playing SoCal with y'all next time. Bring it.
Oh man, he got his ass beat. Oh my god. And look who it is. Whoa. What is this? We got a guest popping here. Look at this. It's starting 2019, right? It could be no other. Big Bot 448.
Finally, the bot has come back to GRG. What is up, people?
What's up, bot?
Megan, this is the way to start the year. You got Baby Bot and Big Bot.
I got Baby Bot, Big Bot. Okay, but let me go ahead and pay the bills, man. Hey, sorry, X-Man. Oh, here, you already read it. I just now seen it. I heard you say it.
I'm about to get Buddy a job on next podcast, man.
He was quick on it, man. I'm over here gonna try to send you some stuff, Bot, just so you can be prepared. But anyway, this is the first topic, man. And the first topic was basically the biggest disappointment of 2018, 2019. Operations going first, but he needs to give a explanation of why he said this game. So go ahead. Let's hear it, man. Let's hear it.
I got those for this mess. So to start off, the combat / gameplay, it felt sluggish, lacking, and pretty much incomplete in some areas. For this game, there's aerial combat and aerial enemies, but like that aspect of the game just felt off to me. Like it just didn't feel like it meshed well with the overall gameplay. But the story was good for the most part. I really enjoyed what they're doing with Kratos and Atreus. But for me, at times, the game felt pretty much underwhelming. The boss were recycled. The boss was underwhelming for the most part as well. The stranger fight in the beginning, that dragged on too long. It had issues with that. The second time you fought him, it was better, but still, it's just The Valkyrie fights felt pretty much recycled and reused. I forgot the troll's names. A big Hulk dude was a cloud of concrete or rock, whatever it is. I forgot the names of them, but those were pretty much recycled and just reskinned throughout the entire game. And like compared to the previous God of Wars, like Kratos is neuter in this game. Like from the mobility, the combat, and whatnot, it felt like it took away more than they should have. And guess like this is the product people want good graphics or gameplay. So I guess this is what happens when you prioritize.
I like this guy, Mega. I like him, man.
I'm telling you, man. Like the ruling attacks in this game, most are pointless in my opinion. Like yeah, one good AOE, one dark damage. After that, just throw them shit in the bushes. The RPG elements of this game, they need a lot of work. Like it's a good start, but like it felt basically most artists needs to be fleshed
take
out.
that, Mega. What?
Oh, listen to that trash.
I don't know.
No.
Okay, so let me. Okay, so what? All right, you said the runes, and okay, I could agree with you on that one. You said the dragon was. I can agree with the dragon.
That was terrible.
But I mean, you do have to admit though that okay, but hold on. But you do have to admit that though when it got to the sequence of the big fight scenes of the bigger ones, they were epic. They were very epic. Did you not agree with that?
It got epic to a point, then dropped right back down for me. I was like, oh shit, this is getting hyped. Like, they dropped the ball again.
Yeah, y'all talking about. My bad. I can't.
Oh, look at this. Okay, now we got people up in here. Okay.
Yo,
anyway.
Mega, you got a panel.
I got a panel. I don't know. There you go. All right, anyway. I kind of figured that our Donald Trump would be coming in here because of the fact that he has to do his negotiation to try to get the wall. Yeah, I mean, he's got to. He needs his ball.
He's got to kiss Ivanka goodnight. Like
he got to kiss
Ivanka goodnight. These mofos talking about they ain't trying to pay for this wall. This is some bull, dog. They know doggone well I was never gonna get Mexico to pay for the wall.
Oh my God.
They need to get this done. Did it. Granted, most of the Mexicans, after I get this wall built, will be on this side of the wall, but we'll figure that shit out later.
I set that up. So yeah, my bad. Anyway, all right. So I set myself up,
brother.
I set myself up.
All right, so warm up, man. After a while, you're getting back into it.
Yeah, it's 2019 is still the same as 2018 looks like. But anyway, okay, so let me go to you. The topic was, what was the most disappointing game of 2018 or overrated? Either one.
Well, here's the deal. I'm not even going to go game, and you guys are going to be incredibly surprised. Anybody in the chat who follows me, you are going to be incredibly surprised at what I say. My biggest disappointment in gaming for 2018 was the Destiny 2 DLC.
What? No, come on.
Forsaken. I'm talking like Black Armory and moving forward. They are trying to push everybody back towards Destiny 1, where you have to fish for the story and why you're doing the whole Black Armory thing. Not only that, the grind is absolutely like monstrous to get exotic engrams and stuff like that. They're bringing everything. I enjoyed Destiny 2. I didn't get into Destiny 1, and they're trying to sway everybody more towards the Destiny 1 way of doing things again. And give me my story and my DLC. Let me know why I'm doing this, and then I will go out and grind for the weapons. But they're not doing that. They're making me look for it and try to understand why I'm doing this while I'm doing this. And it is definitely my biggest disappointment of 2018. It's the reason why I haven't played Destiny 2 in like 2.5 weeks or so. Dude, I won't do it.
You know what? I have noticed that you haven't been playing because I'm still in those DMs where y'all meet up and everything, and I haven't really seen or heard anything from you. And that's pretty crazy because I just overlooked it because I'm just like, oh yeah, he's playing, but yeah, you've been playing PUBG, you've been playing some other stuff.
I've been playing Hellblade too, man, and I gotta say, I'm taking Hellblade, man.
Okay, all right. See, Man, I'm completely baffled on that. I wish
dude,
Don
you're
heard.
Scottish. You have no words right now. You're like,
I have
you
no
like
words.
Hellblade, and you're dissing the shit out of Destiny 2 right now. What the hell
confused.
is going on here, man?
Bro,
I
I'm
mean,
lost.
Destiny 2 does suck though. Just saying.
Yo, buddy,
Watch out.
just shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth.
Oh my God,
I
this
will
is
do
absolutely
no
hilarious.
such thing, bot. I will
Dude.
do no such thing. You have to beat me to make me shut it.
What's your flavor of game, man? Is that what you're talking about?
You choose the game, and if I have it, we do it.
Oh, if I have it.
See, this is the thing right here. So, like, I wish Lemon was here tonight, because the thing of it is that he had this. And, you know, I'm gonna follow his lead on it. You know, he posted something that really kind of went all out there, where he was just basically like, in 2019, it's all about on these sticks, right? Just play the games, just enjoy it. Just if you got that type of animosity, that type of energy, just come in here. Let's have all stream. Let's just play. And even though the situation, you know what I'm saying, of me and Z or whatever, you know, he hit me up. He came out of there. It was me and Bam, and was about to play Division, and he hits me up out of the blue, talking about, hey, I heard you be playing Battlefield, talking a lot of trash. And so, yeah, if you see the stream, man, it was hilarious, because he only plays Team Deathmatch. And we play operations and grand operations, and he was looking pretty lost. He was begging for a pass. It was pretty funny, man.
Yo, Mega, check this out. If I had to actually pick a game, though, basically the reason why I don't have a PS4 anymore is because of how disappointed I was in Spider-Man. Right? Pretty much. I am a Spider-Man fan from the comics. Growing up, my dad was a comic book collector. That is my favorite superhero. So I know all about, you know, the different enemies and stuff like that. And when it came down to it, you know, I like somebody else on the panel said, you know, things about people are picking graphics over actual game and gameplay and stuff like that. And when it came down to it with Spider-Man, they did really, really well creating New York City, right? Did awesome with that. Even Spider-Man suits, they all looked great. But when it came down to it, the ramping up of the story took so freaking long, man, that it was completely. The beginning of that game was absolute boredom, man. Once you got through the fights a few times, you were basically doing the same over and over again. And you know, going back to the Sinister Six and all that good stuff, they just didn't really push the envelope enough, and Spider-Man was just kind of like a meh game to me, man. At the end of the day,
that is blasphemy.
Whoa!
I'm here.
Oh, so you bought the game, huh?
No, I can't let my team down. I heard you talking about my rant about these non-gamers. I'm here in the building. What up, people? Sorry, I'm late. I had to put my live wire card. You already know.
That's cool. Appreciate it. Appreciate it for coming on in. I mean, the old lady gonna be upset, but that's okay.
We're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna do that. I'm here.
Oh no!
All right.
You don't know. He hiding in the closet right now.
You picking it? Yeah. You sleep. You better stay up late tonight playing some games. I got you. Oh, but hold on. Let me pay the bills, man. Sir X Man, he said we got to get Xbot to play with us. I think he put the little chicken emoji right there.
The last time Sir Eggman said he was going to play a game with me, he was a no-show. All right, I was sitting there with my controller for like a couple hours just waiting. I'm like, you know what? You know, something must have happened. But dude, you know I'm down to play, especially with Sir X. He likes racing games and stuff like that, right? Because he wanted me to play grip, man. He wanted me to play grip that night, and I was down.
It was fun. It was really fun. Yeah, I mean, he got me to jump on it because I played it on the PC, but you know, I didn't really, I don't really play with people online.
Can somebody tell Don that nobody wants to play Halo 3 anymore? Like seriously?
No. We went half. It was me, Live, Flip, and Don, and we're like almost halfway done with Halo 3 on Legendary.
Were you guys having fun with it? You guys having fun with it?
I mean, it had its moments. I mean, we felt dated as hell. You know what I'm saying? It felt dated as hell. But other than that,
Yo, buddy,
like,
you heard him stumble, right? You heard him stumble. Right
He's like, it had its moment.
I don't ever want to come back. I don't ever want it to come back. Okay, and then Sir X-Man, he says, I'm sorry, I had to go to work.
Yo, brother, it's all good, man. It's all good. I just want to let you know that I was there, all right? And I will be there again. Trust me, sir.
Oh, man, this is a mess. Anyway, all right, let me get
No
on.
trash talking allowed. No trash talking allowed. His mute button works.
Hey,
Stop
you
it.
know that, right? One more time. Hang on. Sir X said again, I'm sorry, I had to go to work.
Yeah, that's what he
So
said.
Sir X-Man right now is showing love to the show. Gotta say, I appreciate it, man. Much appreciated.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it. So, anyway, man, let's go over here
Ron in the chat now.
Yo, Mega, if I could get to the super chats before Bloody, does that mean I get Bloody's piece of the pie for tonight's episode?
You cannot be. You cannot be.
You cannot outscore. Bob, we gotta see who's got it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I gotta put myself on mute. I need a vape.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, all right. So let me go. Let me go ahead and go to Bloody. All right. What was your game? Your most disappointing game of 2018?
Okay, I have to say, for me, my most disappointing was it was the most overhyped game, and that was I agree with Op, is that it was God of War. It was God of War. Hang on. No, hang on. No one can tell me anything about that game because I beat that entire game on the hardest difficulty, better than half these frauds out here. So no one can't tell me jack on that game.
Can I finish my rank?
Because
like halfway.
Because of
you didn't finish. Okay, well, Knuckles, and then I'll let you go back and I'll finish it after that.
He brought up a lot of good points. Is that they felt that they severely took a lot of the combat prowess and the mobility of Kratos away. Like, the fact is that he felt very slow and sluggish. The fact is that the camera and the action and the combat in that game focus heavily on over-the-shoulder combat, single-target combat, yet they were throwing 7 to 10 dudes at you at one time, as well as with that, they gave you this very thin threat indicator that didn't work half the time, and the long-distance fighters that would sit there and shoot you from half the way, you wouldn't see where they're shooting, and they would always shoot in your general area because of the fact that there's 3 of them, and they would always hit you. It was ridiculously stupid how fast that they were and how accurate they were half the time. And when they did give you your multi-target weapon later on, and I'm not going to say it because of the fact that there still may be people who haven't played it yet, and I'm not going to ruin that yet, but even then, it still felt underwhelming. It didn't feel like there was any like actual aspects to being able to take on multiple targets at the same time. I honestly started doing better when I stopped using the lock-on in that game because the lock-on was garbage and it forced you to lock on to someone. And the fact that the way that it worked with the right stick, when you're sitting there trying to turn the camera and readjust yourself, you end up switching people too often that it would mess you up in the middle of combos. It was hard to keep a single combo going on because of how much they were trying to do with timing button presses, and consider you have to wait 3 seconds holding it, let it go, and then hit it again to do certain combos. They tried doing too much with not being able to properly set up the layout that they wanted to do it on. That's what really killed it, with them doing the style of combat used in Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey.
That's what I said.
Yeah. The story, don't get me wrong, the story's amazing. It really is. But the combat just felt so drawn out, lackluster. And he spent half the time in the boat, like going to all these different places, and that just pulls you out of everything.
You know, about the belt though, at first it was fine because they were giving lore tidbits and whatnot, especially when you get Mimir. But once you
Mimir was awesome.
Yeah, once you ran stuff to talk about, it was just terrible. It was boring. Just sit there, just vote for half of the map, go to the next part, and like nobody's saying anything. That's when both for me got really annoying. I got tired of it.
Yep.
But yeah,
that's it. I thought you had a rant.
I do. I'll show.
Okay, but go ahead. Okay, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Go back to what Buddy. The camera, for what you're saying about throwing so many enemies at you, it has to be backed out much more because you can't see what's going on. And for as a combo system, it felt very minimal because like you can start it up right, but once you throw your runic attacks, throw those basic combos out, that's it. You're just dodging around and trying to get some damage off the enemies until they charge back up again. They start the process all again. So it felt very minimal in that aspect. And as far as difficulty, the blade be on the hardest level, I can't do it because it has a bullshit difficulty leveling where it pretty much makes you much weaker, make them stronger. And I know Cory Borlock in one of his interviews, he said like once you turn higher difficulties, they do more. They behave differently. As far as me, only thing I noticed when I tried it at first on hard difficulties, they did the same attack over and over, which really doesn't mean anything. Like, it doesn't mean different behavior. Just
that cheese.
Yeah, they're spamming.
Yeah, they had that
attacks.
cheese factor going on hardcore.
Yeah, as far as enemy variety, there's a lot of them, but at the same time, their attacks are so basic. It felt like they just threw so many enemies just to mask the fact that they're not really doing much of it.
Can you guys imagine if they did a God of War with the old school style, with this generation's graphics and some innovation in the gameplay and the fighting mechanic, instead of just doing the Sony blueprint of third-person camera over the shoulder with God of War, man? That's the whole reason why it completely turned me off. I like the older God of War games. I like the craziness, man. All the
isometric aspect of it.
What's up?
The isometric aspect of it.
Dude, you're jumping around, you got combos, you're switching between weapons, like you're quick, you're like you're just going in and tearing shit up, man. And whenever I saw gameplay of this God of War, it's why I didn't even pick it up for the PS4 when I had it. It was like, yo, everything was just dump in terms of speed, man.
I mean,
go ahead, Live. Yeah,
it was a good game, but to me, it felt like
how it is.
Kind of like Gears a little bit, minus the guns. Like the fact that he wasn't very fast. Like, no, not fast, but he wasn't agile.
Yeah.
I mean, God of War, he was like, I mean, I remember from, the previous ones, he was like, doing all that crazy shit, jumping around and all that. I just felt like I don't understand why they went to the whole route of you got to look like when you're climbing shit, you can't just jump. You got to look and then press circle every time. I'm like, that shit was annoying as fuck, man.
It's just theatrical blueprint they're going for. Like their fan base, this is what they want. They want this.
But the combo system was okay. I mean, my biggest thing I felt that people said is the greatest game, but like, dude, you fought the same motherfuckers with different outfits on, like multiple times. Like how many? There's trolls everywhere. I suppose they trolled us with all them goddamn trolls.
Bro, I'm telling you, the prettier the game looks and the more average gameplay is, the more they'll like it. Because that's what they've been getting. They've been praising it ever since, bro.
Oh my God. This how we do it in 2019?
No, we're not doing
what's going on?
Yo, K-Mega, here's the deal, man.
We're not doing it like that.
Do you want people to be honest about their opinions?
I'm not saying
to follow social media.
No, you're right. You're right.
Generation, man.
You're right.
They did a good job on what, because if you know what the limitations of the game was and all that stuff, all the bullshit they had to get, go through in order to get it to even come out.
Right.
I could understand how they kind of got a pass on certain shit. And then it was still a good game, even though you fought the same motherfuckers like 100 times, and they still were able to get a decent story out of it. You know what it reminds me of? It's the Jaws of this generation. If y'all know anything about the story of Jaws, it's like Jaws that we got is not what Steven Spielberg originally had for us to come out. It was, they ran into a lot of fucking bullshit, and they just tried to make it work with what they had. And for that reason alone, yes, it is a good game, and it might have been better than what they originally intended. But is it like perfect? No. It's just not perfect, but just because people have, critiques on it doesn't mean that, it's a horrible game.
Right.
Dude, I can't believe it. Yo, there's somebody in the chat. Like, I can understand if you like the game, you enjoy
it's got to be Christopher. It's got to be Christopher.
Dude, that is no problem, but you can't expect everybody to like the same thing. And obviously, there's a couple people on this panel who don't really care for God of War. I mean, you could not like Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm going to be like, wow, I had a great experience from it, but I'm not going to like hang you over it either, man. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna say something, man. I gotta say this. I understand people's opinion. Bloody, you 100% completed the game. It's like you and two other people I know did that. Game can't be that bad if you did that. That game is awesome. Did I agree? Wait, let me finish.
Forever.
Let me finish. I did not disagree with what you were saying. What my problem with the game was not having the action buttons on the face. That was my biggest problem. But the game story, the interaction, the direction they've taken that series is completely different than the past, but it's also an improvement on the storytelling. Let's not talk about you can't shoot people in the distance. Oh my God, I couldn't take it, because Gears of War is not perfect. Halo's not perfect. They're still great games.
Listen, but brother, you don't talk about my Halo, man. You know, I'm just playing, brother. I'm just playing.
You know, I have to 1v1 you. You don't want to do that.
Yo, dude, that's not what Halo's about. 1v1.
I know.
Like,
I'm just
really.
But it's just like, I understand. You could take any game. You could take Red Dead Redemption and critique it. You could take the mighty juggernaut of Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 ain't perfect. It's just crazy. People like doing all that crazy shit, but it's nowhere near the perfect third-person action game. And it's worse in first person. But you don't hear people harping on that because they're enjoying it. So certain things you said, I don't agree, because it's like, okay, the director's vision, the producer's vision on that game, this is what they wanted to present. But compared to what, God of War is not good too. The same reason I tell dudes when say Gears of War 4 wasn't good. Compared to what game? That's when you start to say, okay, you start critiquing greatness. It's easy to say LeBron ain't shit to compare to Jordan. Say he ain't shit compared to fucking Steve Kerr. You only compare greatness to greatness. So I see a lot of nitpicking on this panel.
LeBron thing, we talking 3-point contest. That's all.
I'm just talking about. I'm just talking about critiquing greatness. You can't say LeBron is great, Kobe ain't that good, Michael Jordan is great because he undefeated in championships. You can't say Super Mario 64 is the greatest platform of all time, and then say Halo is one of the top selling series of all time, and then say Grand Theft Auto, now God of War, but we have a problem with this, that. You're never gonna be 100% satisfied by no games, ever.
So well, see, here's the thing, man. I have a problem when it comes to Sony exclusives. If you notice, it just seems like they're all following this blueprint ever since. I don't know, maybe the success of Uncharted, and then you saw The Last of Us. It seems like Sony is going to their first party, and they're even trying to develop another third-person camera over-the-shoulder game for the next generation as well. It seems like they found a blueprint that everybody is feeding into. When I look at what God of War used to be, that high-octane hack-and-slash combo system, everything like that, and I see them using that blueprint on this one. And I'm not saying the story is not great and everything like that. To me, that is the sign of a lazy company seeing how one thing works and is spreading that blueprint across their first party and getting all of them to do the same thing with whatever franchise.
Okay, I can see your point.
I wouldn't call it lazy, but like they want.
What happened to Ascension? After Ascension, they had to wake it up and we got to do something different. This is one of our top franchises, and Ascension was trash. They had to shake it up.
But God of War 3 Remastered, I think that did well on the PS4. I know that was one game. That's probably the game I played the most on my PS4, man. To be
true indeed, it's one of my favorite games out the series, but Ascension is after that, and it's garbage. And so terribly. So after this is, remember, it's still not $1 billion franchise.
You bought me.
I am.
Okay.
I don't know. All right.
I
don't know why. It's still not $1 billion franchise. You see, certain things work for Microsoft and they get ridiculed for it. Top racer, top first person sci-fi shooter, another sci-fi shooter in Gears. $1 billion franchises. People say, oh, they just keep doing the same thing because that's the crowd that follows it. They had to reinvent God of War because, first of all, the story was over. Then they did Ascension and it flopped. So this generation, they switched it up. Last of Us is a great game, but it's not going to sell like Uncharted because it's like people that play chess versus people that play checkers.
You know, but like this is something that I even look at towards Xbox. Like people are talking about the next Gears and like the next Halo. And I was just on Crossfire with with Mooch and them, Mooch Crap, all them guys, and we're talking about this, and somebody was like, "Yeah, Gears should be open world, like what we think Halo Infinite is going to be." I was like, "No, I want diversity in the portfolio of first party. I don't want everything to look the same." And that's what got me this generation when it came to PlayStation, when it came to their big bangers. They just followed that same blueprint, even down to the same type of textures, same type of lighting,
same engine,
stuff like that. Like it was insane what they did, and people ate it up, man.
But look, they ain't eating up Days Gone.
Well, that's not out yet either. So.
Somebody dropped the ball on that one. Getting, you know, I saw it. I said, I see Dead Rising in there with Last of Us, with all the crazy dude would put one clip in the gun and shot 5,000 shots. I mean. That's not what Sony's really known for. They're more with the story-based interaction with some action or, you know, stuff like that. Because, you know, Uncharted 3 didn't do well either. That was stale. Uncharted 4 was another stale, had a dead meat. But what I'm saying is we talking about games that's AAA and great. We can nitpick about anything. That's my point. I just see some nitpicking going on here. We got to be fair. Because if God of War was an Xbox exclusive, I think people would be a little bit more biased.
Nope.
Actually, no. You
That's
cannot.
what I believe.
You cannot accuse me of that. You cannot accuse me of that because if I had gotten into the previous games, say all the God of Wars were on Xbox, if I had gotten into the previous games and the speed and the action and everything like that, and then they tried to offer me this as like the latest installment, I would still be the same way.
But the game is great though. It's not perfect.
The story is great.
No,
You're saying the story is great.
The story is great. What I'm saying, it's not perfect.
That's part of the game.
The combat system was not where it should be. I agree. What I'm saying,
that is what they call a game mechanic, man.
Great game. That's kind of hard on a great game.
I can't believe I caused all of this, so I'm kind of happy.
Yeah, I'm just saying. My bad. I'm done with that. I'm done.
No, I was just gonna say Livewire. What was you gonna say? Because I thought you wanted to chime in.
No, my thing was like with the whole God of War thing, and even kind of going off of what Lemon's saying. I know it sounds like a nitpick, but let's be honest, we're just basing it off of what we see that people, you know, say about Xbox games. Mm-hmm. So if we got to find a common ground somewhere. So either we're gonna hold all the games to the standard of what people say Xbox games should be held to, or we're gonna hold them to the standard that PlayStation games should be held to the standard. Then, if that's the case, then we got to raise the scores and raise some of the lighten the reviews on some of the games that we seen Xbox get trashed on. That's what I'm saying. So, but what we're looking at is we're saying, all right, so this is what God of War is. It's Game of the Year. We're looking at what's there, and we're critiquing it based on, well, this is what the standard was told to us, and we're saying, well, this is the standard. But a lot of people that said that this is a 10 out of 10 greatest game of the generation,
that's
kind of failed to mention this issue,
the glaring issue,
this issue, that issue.
Yeah, you can't go by that though. That's people's opinion.
Yeah, but
so we can also have that opinion.
Gears and Halo is trash.
No. I'm talking. We're not even going by the fanboys.
No, nobody said the game was trash. I didn't hear.
I'm just talking about people's opinion when people just say shit that's just so far left.
Yeah, man.
These are these guys' opinion. You know what I'm saying? These are these guys' opinion. So I mean, you have to respect it. But keep going, live. Keep going.
I'm just basing off of what the reviews for the media standards are. I'm not even talking about the crazy fan, but we know they're nuts. I'm talking about the standards of what, you know, reviewers have been saying for this, from what I've noticed for this past generation, of what is acceptable and what is not, right? That's all I'm saying. Like, based on, this is my biggest issue. For most of this generation, I was an Xbox only guy, right? And then I was like, fuck it, might as well jump on and get the PlayStation. And then I looked up and my brother bought me a Switch for Christmas. Now I played all these games. I'm playing all these games. Mind you, I'll never do this shit again, because one, it's almost like you have all the games in the world and you have no time to fucking play them. Mm-hmm. So It's a fucking headache. But I did try to go and play the creme de la creme of what each system had, other than Zelda. I didn't play that shit yet. But for the most part, I played what Sony has, and God of War, a good game, right? But it's not a perfect game.
No game is perfect. I hate when they label.
Okay, so let me.
I'll never rate a game.
Spider-Man to me was a more fun game. Was a more fun game.
Well, and that was what I was going to ask you live. What was your favorite PlayStation game if it wasn't God of War?
Detroit, which is sad because there's no fucking gameplay.
It's not sad.
I'm not. No. Let me finish. The reason being is I enjoy playing. I wanted to complete the story and play Detroit more than I wanted to play Spider-Man or God of War. But as an overall experience, it was great. But I can't put that on the same level of a God of War and a Spider-Man, because at the end of the day, if somebody's spending their last $60 on a fucking game, I can't recommend Detroit. It's not that type of game to spend money on.
Why not?
I know, Lemon. I know. Me and you had this conversation before, and you were like, the quality that you're spending for the game. But at the end of the day, Lemon, that shit has no replay value.
Oh no!
You can play through that shit maybe 2-3 times at most.
None of them do. God of War got a move where they just changed the behavior of the same enemy.
True. That's true. And Spider-Man is kind of the same thing. But at the end of the day, Detroit is way below that, because it's all story. I mean, unless you're just like fucking around and trying to see how fast you can press the buttons, like that's really all it is. But
it's awesome
as an experience, phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
Best experience I've had on the PlayStation, bar none thus far. Right.
Okay. All right. We got to get ready to wrap up. Yeah, we got to go.
Can I say my most disappointing game this year?
Yeah. What is it?
Darksiders 3.
I feel you on that one, man.
That shit is garbage.
I feel you on that one.
That shit is garbage.
That man Jam would be in your ass right now.
Dude, it's weird. The shortcuts that they made in that game, I don't understand it. Like,
it's terrible. I'm a Darksiders retard, and when you play the third version, and I played 1 and 2 thoroughly and restarted them again with that 4K update on the Xbox One X, step into the realm, baby. But when I started playing part 3 and I start seeing levels from part 1 continuously, there's a problem. There's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because it looks like a rehash of 1 and 2 with the same damn levels. Now you trying to tell me the whole earth is destroyed? The first 2 games went from one point to another. Great story, great interaction, great environments. And then you get part 3 using part 1 and 2 environments. You trying to tell me the world is destroyed? You couldn't go to another section of the world? Horrible. The story interaction is terrible. The whole platform and elements that it brought, because that game progression, learning abilities is like a Zelda on steroids. None of that exists. It like made it into a super action game. If I want to play an action game, I'll play Devil May Cry. That game. Oh man, I'm so happy I didn't buy those statues for $400. So you saying that my purchase was a bad one? Because I got it, but I haven't even played it yet. Well, this is the problem, K-Mega. I pre-ordered the $400 edition as well. I did Bloody Knuckles, and he picked this up, and I watched somebody play it a week beforehand, and I told Knuckles something ain't right.
I remember that conversation.
If I'm watching this game and it looks like the old game, just with a couple little tweaks, I know THQ Nordic, they're taking a lot of old titles and revamping them and re-putting them out, and it looks like they just redid 1 and 2 and added a new sister. I'm sorry. I'm done. Not for no $400. Salty's Gaming, he said it's bad. It feels like a 360 game in his long. See? It's bad. And I looked at God of War. I'm a God of War retard. My avatar is God of War, Kratos on PlayStation. When I saw God of War, I was real skeptical, but it did not. One thing God of War did do is didn't give me a feeling like this is a waste of money. No matter what we can continue, it didn't feel like that. So this game, I felt like, what the? I'm never buying another one. I don't care what they do. You're not. I'm not coming back.
A lot more funding and development went into God of War than it went into Darksiders.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I'm just coming from a fan standpoint. You know what I'm saying? I'm not them dudes accountant. I'm just coming from. We ain't had this series in years. I'm excited to get a 3. It's horrible. I don't even got it on my system more. It's erased. I will never play that again.
Based off Levin's assessment, it sounds like they got less budget than the first one.
Yo, it is horrible.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was my biggest disappointment because when they brought it back, I was so excited.
Yeah, this is sad.
I was like, this is amazing. Because I never thought I was gonna see it again. And that's what they do to this series. I'm done.
Well, if they don't have the budget,
don't put it out.
Well, again, you know,
they can't make another one.
Well, no, they got to have better funding or whatever. Somebody got to, you know,
somebody.
Well, what's wrong with the game? I don't know.
I don't know. I got it. I haven't even booted it up yet. I bought it.
It's weird, yo. I think the graphics look good until you look at like the cars in the environment. And then they look like
it looks like a 360 game.
Yo, they look like PlayStation 1.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Well, I get a phone call. I'll be right back.
I told Bloody, I said, Bloody, we can't do this. Bloody said, I want the statues. I said, not for $400. It's the most expensive collector's edition in the history of gaming. They do not.
That's a lie. That is a lie.
What costs more than that?
There was the collector's edition that was $3,000 for Devil May Cry.
Whoa. That's different.
What?
That's
not
even for us.
No, it ain't different.
That's not even for us. You're bugging. I never even heard of that. I haven't even heard of that before.
Okay. Sir X-Man in the chat, he said, he said, he was in the chat said, I just want to play On a Miss You.
Anamusha.
Anamusha. Let me be country. Anamusha.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. I'll say what I want, Jack.
Not with them PlayStation 1 graphics.
But you say you want to play, no, but I mean, it's not a true remaster.
It's not nothing.
Evil 2, but it's only $20. It's only $20, man. I mean, and I don't miss you, however you want to pronounce it. You know what I'm saying? The thing of it is, this is a reflector of how many people will purchase this game if Capcom will want to make a remake like they're doing with
they should have. They should
and but see, that's the thing, though. It's funny with certain type of game companies with these publishers. The waters is you know, look, you can put out 1 or 2 games, and if those games bomb or they're done, then that messes up their whole budget for something else that they may have a vision of wanting to bring out. And if that, let's just say that they came out with a full-fledged remaster of On a Miss You, and then the game comes out and nobody buys it. But
it wouldn't be the case. Not with that. That's a fan favorite.
We don't know that. Though. I mean, we're talking about a whole new generation. Let me just make this point. And then if all of a sudden, then like let's just say that they were going to use the money that they made off of that and make a new Rival Schools, then everybody would have been pissed off because nobody would want to support that game because they don't have enough funding for Rival Schools. So that's how this works. So it's kind of like how backwards compatibility is. It's really smart to bring out these games, put a little high res on them, and see if they sell. Now, for what Square Enix did, where it was a crazy mistake, was to bring Zone of the Enders out and then charge $40 for it, and the game doesn't have any true.
It doesn't even control the same. It's horrible.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like, to me, it's like, come on now. You pump your brakes. So I did see a sale on it during that 65-70% that it was like $15, and I hope people jumped on it then because I think it's going to jump right back to $40 to $39, and that's crazy.
Okay, Mega, I agree with you, but I look at games like Onimusha, man, 1, 2, and 3. We was at the store waiting for midnight launches when they didn't even have them, just to be there in the morning on time. That was one of those games. Look at that game Sekiro that's getting ready to drop.
Sekiro.
There you go. Thank you.
You want to talk about me? And look, hold on.
No, listen, at least that's not a straight. Oh no,
ABA is being messy. He says, "I don't miss you" is not pronounced. I'm on miss you.
Onimusha.
It's Onimusha. That's how I said.
I'ma miss you.
Got to take back them 99-cent headsets from Walmart. I said Onimusha.
I will miss you.
He said I'm gonna miss you.
I will miss you.
But look at that game that's getting ready to drop. I dropped that extra money for that statue and everything. That game looks awesome. So you trying to tell me this game is getting plenty of love, and Onimusha wouldn't? Capcom dropped the ball.
What did
Hey, look at what they're doing because they were focused on the RE2 remake. Look at what they've been doing with that.
What did Shenmue 1 and 2 do? Well, you know what I'm saying? How did
Shenmue 1 and 2?
Yeah,
HD remakes.
Yeah. Shenmue 1 and 2 didn't sell in the beginning because it was a hardcore crowd.
I understand that, but I mean,
I'm part of that crowd? But I'm just saying,
how did this?
I don't really know.
But see, I don't know.
They didn't talk about it because they didn't talk about it. So
it must not have done well. That's what I'm saying. So again, everybody's over here crying about 3 and say, "Oh, because they thought it was going to be an exclusive." And then now this game, 1 and 2, the game that that revolutionized open world games, is basically, what I'm saying, it looked like it didn't do that well. You know what? I'm gonna have to cop that game just because I have to support it. I got to support it.
I do too. I want to replay because I've played the first one way back on the original OG Xbox, but I never played Shenmue 2, and I got excited when they announced Shenmue 3. So I still want to play it, even though I know it still hasn't aged well at a lot of aspects. But I still want to play the game.
Okay.
You got to know what you're getting into. Like people look at everyone looks at everything through rose-colored glasses, and nostalgia is a hell of a drug, as Mooch would always say. But the thing is, you still got to know what you're getting into if you're going to go back and play some of those older games. Like I'm replaying Metro through the Redux that they did. Game is still fun. The story is still great. However, the guns still feel like ass, even all these years later. They always did.
Right. I mean, that's just what those games are, right?
So, that shit is hard as hell.
Let me say my most disappointing game of 2018, and then we can move on to the second topic.
We've been on this for an hour. I want to say.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm like, okay, but I mean, it works. It works. It works. Okay, but anyway, my most disappointing game of 2018, it has to be Extinction. I was highly excited about this game. Really? I was saying, yeah, I was really excited about it. When I first seen the trailer, I was like, okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? This got a cool little premise.
That game looked like Doggy Doo-Doo.
Wait a minute, that's the game in hell and all that?
No. It's the game where the guy where you are a
it was the knockoff Attack on Titan game.
Yeah, you're beating down these big ass trolls, and you got to take off the armor.
Oh, that shit was garbage.
Off limbs and stuff like that.
The rip off Attack on Titan
dudes. What's their name? Iron Galaxy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Iron Galaxy. Ooh. Yeah, the people that is now with Amazon right now, right? So. They okay, big shout out to Cedric. Cedric said a Blade game with upgrade mechanics would be fire. Yes, it would. Mechanics would be fantastic. It would be great. It would be great. So would that 50 cents game, if they would bring back make a remake of that 50 cents game, that game was dope.
That game was fire.
That game was dope. Anyway, all right.
Which one? Blood in the Sand?
Yeah, Blood in the Sand. Yeah.
That game was fire. Anyway, so
give me a remaster.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Extinction, I was really hyped for it because, I mean, haven't seen anything from Iron Galaxy since, doing Killer Instinct. And so they were really pumping out this. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? Day one. And then when I seen actual gameplay, I was like, okay. And then Xbot got it, right? And so when he got the game, it turned out to be like he was showing some gameplay of it. And I was like, oh. And so anyway, I got it on the PC. And so then I was like, okay. And then I started playing it for myself. And I was like, oh, man. Oh, man. So that was my most disappointing game of 2018.
It's trash.
I won't say it's trash. I'll just say that it's
okay, Kid Mega.
It's not that appealing.
Mega, it was Doggy Doo-Doo.
Facts.
Okay, all right. So that was my most disappointing game. Also,
it was
most overrated game. You know me, I got to add a little bit of extra spice into it. My most overrated game, and you know what? And I shouldn't do this, but I played like an
I heard
hour
my
and
name like 3 seconds ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about Extinction. Extinction was my most disappointing game of 2018.
He was talking about the doggy doo.
So I was saying that I was excited about it, and then I got it on the PC, and I was like, oh Lord. But anyway,
the missus got me pumped about that game, and then she bought that game, and I played it for a little bit.
You ever heard this before? Xbot got him.
Got it. But the most overrated game for me, no doubt, is got and I know that I'm going to get flack for this, but I don't know if I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to have to, because I was just so underwhelmed by everybody saying that this game was just everything in its part, and that was Spider-Man. I played. Maybe I had it because I had it on the hardest setting. And I came through and I went through, I beat Kingpin. I'm jumping around. I'm looking at, and maybe also it's because the Xbox One X spoils me. And I just need to wait until I get to PlayStation 5. Because the draw distance, like I'm playing Origins and I'm playing Odyssey, and the draw distance is absolutely insane on this television and on, just for whatever. And so I'm looking at these draw distances and things like this on this QLED, and bruh, it's not doing the same thing. Now, swinging around is fun, but I don't know. I got to go back and I got to do it. But I was not impressed. I was like, man, and that's what made me jump on Origin, because I said I'm going to play and I'm going to be Spider-Man. That's what I'm going to do. And I couldn't go no further past than getting past the Kingpin thing and then going around and doing some other stuff and doing a couple of little side missions, and then I just kind of realized that, wow, I don't know, man.
No, I give major props to our brother Mooch, because I have no idea how he went out there, got every single trophy for that game. That would have been like, I've noticed with him doing that.
Hey, the reason he got every trophy for that game is because it was easy to get all the trophies. The collectibles were around the corner of each other.
Okay.
No, right. I will say that when you play it on the hardest setting, it's very challenging. It can be challenging, you know what I'm saying? But I like the challenge aspect of it. But it's just I was like, I don't know. But I mean, I think I heard this from Fred too, that he was saying, like, after he got past that same point, that he hasn't gone back to it. So once I get
on Spider-Man,
what's up?
I'm a Spider-Man junkie.
So am I, man.
I said this from day one when I played at the E3. Somebody asked me, yo, Lemon, how is it? I said, well, it's Spider-Man. What do you mean it's Spider-Man? I said, well, if you played any other Spider-Man game, this one just has better graphics and a little bit more of a story, but it's Spider-Man. It's nothing you never played before.
Amazing. But the draw distance just wasn't all that impressive.
People was like, what do you mean? I said, it's goddamn Spider-Man. It's nothing revolutionary. They just got more of a budget, and he has plenty of suits and all this other stuff. It's technically not better than Spider-Man Dimensions to me. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Well, can't make it.
Oh,
you can't make it. You're going to have to play it on the Pro.
It's not better than that
to make it bearable. To be honest,
really, because
awesome.
I am so you have to play it on the Pro, because I'm telling you. Well, the day I bought the PlayStation, right? Remember, I bought the Slim first.
That's right. You said you bought the Slim first, yeah.
And I said, hell no. I said, I can't play this dog shit.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Cass was like, yo, the Slim is fine. I said, no, it's not. Slim is some ugly piece of shit.
Man, I barely touched this thing for the last. I mean, after I beat God of War in Detroit, I gotta get that Pro Life. I played EX.
Listen, K-Mega. I bought the Slim. I played Uncharted. I played Spider-Man, and I played God of War on that bitch before I turned it in.
God of War.
I said maybe it's just Spider-Man. No,
Spider-Man.
All the games look fucking trash on the Slim versus the Pro.
We're talking about on a QLED. You know what I'm saying? On a QLED. You know what I'm saying?
On a QLED, it might look worse. I ain't gonna lie. On the QLED, it might look worse because you got.
That's what I'm saying. The draw distance look like I'm like, ugh.
Right. Yeah, you need it on the Pro, K Mega.
You cannot listen. The games probably look the same if you play whatever game on
a 1080p
and shit.
Nice.
If you have on a slim,
it's the same assets.
But when you talking about 4K, bro, and on top of it. It might have been different if I was only playing on the S. I'd have been like, oh, okay, this is okay, right? But not on the X. Hell no.
Yeah, no,
it should just look broken.
It just looks, yeah,
it looked broken. Like when when I was playing on the S, I said, nah, I can't fuck with this. I think this shit broken. I think the game is broken PS4. Like, what the fuck is this? Went back there. He said, no, it looks fine. I said, fine to whom? This shit is crazy bad.
You go back, man. I can't go back. I can't. Anyway, let's get on to the next topic. Nintendo. There's been a lot of reports going on lately that I think Michael Proctor said something about Nintendo here recently, but there are indications that Nintendo could be the grand winner in 2019. They are saying that Nintendo has also beat out the PlayStation in Japan. They've overtaken PlayStation there. The Nintendo has been selling. It's been one or two in the MPDs. It's really been third, and it's on an all-time high right now, especially coming back from the VGAs when they just showed Marvel Alliance 3. Plus now Smash Brothers is killing it right now. I think they did 3 million in like a week or something like that.
But they're up to 5 million right now.
Yeah, like they're killing it right now. So there's a lot of projections going on that's saying that the Switch is the go-to system in 2019. So I'm going to go to my guest, Operations, and then Bot, I'll go to you next. What is your thoughts about this? Do you think that the Switch will be the primetime console or hybrid?
If they don't release a Metroid Prime this year, I don't care what they say. It's not going to kill it for me.
Okay, now they saying that they were showing little pictures of The Witcher 3. Tekken is going to be on there coming up here this year. They're even saying Persona 5 is going to be on there. They're going to a lot of these second, third party games when a lot of people didn't think that they was going to even get half of the games that they got. So you're still a believer.
Persona 5 will be big for them, but like Tekken, Witcher 3, like how will they look? How will they plan to Switch? They managed to get Doom on there, but like it's heavily downgraded from the regular console version. So for Tekken and Witcher 3, when Witcher 3 is an open world game, mind you, so for them to get that working on there, like what are they going to sacrifice getting working on there? Will it be worth it for what they do afterwards? So we just have to see.
Project Red, I mean, they'll whatever they have to like take away, they'll definitely still, if they can make a port, they'll make a polished port for it. I mean, it's not going to look like the Xbox version, but
they got half the game get it work probably at this point.
Okay. Well, I mean, is there anything else? I mean, you're just not a believer, pretty much.
Trade Prime for me. Third party ports, that's cool and all, but like the bigger games, they're gonna try to get port over there. If they look like trash, it's not gonna be for me. Okay. Persona, that might win me over, but other than that,
What about their own titles, though? I mean, isn't there supposed to be a Kirby and a Donkey Kong supposed to be coming out coming out next year? Metroid Prime is supposed to, it's supposed to be slated to come out. So, and what, Mario Tennis? Did Mario Tennis come out already, or is that just slated to come out this year too?
No, that already came out. Mario Tennis.
Okay.
Yeah, last.
Okay, so that just shows you I still don't have a Switch. Sorry. Anyway, all right, Xbot. What is your thoughts about this? I mean, I know that you partaked in the Switch. I don't know if you still do, but
oh no, we sold it. Yeah.
Okay. Damn. All right.
Xbox only for life. Ooh.
Xbox.
Yep.
All right. So anyway, what is your thoughts about this, man? I mean, do you really think that the Switch can be the lead console or hybrid in 2019?
I'm gonna give you my first thought, and then I'm gonna give you what I after I really thought about it. My first thought was, well, there's really no competition in its space because it is the world's most powerful handheld, and the only thing they're really competing with is the DS. At the end of the day, a lot of people get the Switch. What you ask them, what is the main thing that got you to get the Switch? A lot of people will say because you can take it with you on the go. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing right there. To me, it is still a handheld that you can plug into your TV, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But when you do look at it, this system came out, this handheld came out later on in this generation. We're already looking at like the PlayStation 5. We're already looking at Project Scarlet and everything like that. Of course, this thing that came out and caught fire at a later date is going to stay on fire for longer, especially in 2019 when the Xbox fans are looking towards the new hardware, the PlayStation fans are looking towards new hardware. The Nintendo is still going to sell because what are they at, like 25 million or something like that?
Yeah.
There's still the consumer base out there that wants it, including Mrs. K Mega. So you need to get her Switch, men. But other than that, like,
I hung her TV on the wall, and then I got her some other stuff that she was happy.
she was happy, and then like as soon as she got out of the room for me, this mother won't get me a Switch, like. But no, there's still people out there that want it. I mean, because it came out later, so you would expect it to be hotter moving forward now, because the people who have the traditional consoles already, we're hearing the leaks and the rumors, and we're seeing that 2020 is going to be the year, where we're getting new hardware. Of course, they're going to be the ones. Nintendo's not going to put out new hardware except for possibly that revised Switch. But it's still the same thing, basically. So, I can see them selling a lot, in 2019.
Man. She can have it that way.
What, Knuckles?
What, Bloody?
Don't roommate.
He's over here talking. Yeah, okay. Anyway. All right, Lemon. What is your thoughts about this? You think the Nintendo can win 2019?
No.
Okay.
They can sell all the systems they want. Facts is, where is Battlefield going to sell? Where's Call of Duty going to sell? Where's FIFA going to sell the most? The big boys.
On all the other consoles?
Facts. They can get their momentum, but they're not damaging anybody. Most people that have a Switch have one of the other two big boys.
And that's where they're going to be playing those games.
To the library. What the next Wolfenstein going to sell? Fallout even going over there? What did Doom do? I can keep going. It don't matter. They can have all the rights they want to have it. Yeah, we took NPDs. Yeah, y'all selling a whole bunch of goddamn Mario Karts. Third party is not flourishing on the Switch. Man, you had this conversation. Nintendo systems is for Nintendo people. I'm a Nintendo person. I'm buying. Let's talk about a game that's dropping next week. Super Mario Brothers Wii U edition coming to the Switch. Did anybody know that's coming out next Friday?
No. Yep.
No,
I did.
I kind of knew it, but that's because I got a Wii. I mean, Switch.
No, I knew about that game coming out because of the fact that I had talked about that previously. That's the third time that game has been remade, because it originally came out on the Wii U.
It's the fourth, time because
it was
on a 3DS too.
Yep, I knew about that.
I know that. What I was saying is it came out. Remember, I said third time being remade. I didn't say being made overall, because it was the original Wii U version. Then there was the Luigi Redux that they did a year later. Then there was the 3DS version, and now we're getting this one.
Right.
That's going to encompass all of that.
It don't matter what they do. They cannot make a financial dent into nobody. They just can be successful for them. They have their own market. The handheld appeals to them more than anybody else. Nobody will ever beat Nintendo on the handheld market. And now that they made a hybrid system, they have the best of both worlds, because them portable dudes, there is no way to hook a 3DS up to your TV, because if that was a possibility, the Switch wouldn't be successful. But being that it's not a possibility, I get this Zelda game, I pop it on my TV, because I only get 2 hours of gameplay anyway. So I might as well play it at home. You got to walk around with Con Ed batteries connected to your back to play this thing for more than 5 hours. It's crazy. So it don't matter. I don't care what the Switch does. Long as I get to play my Nintendo games, it don't matter what part of the market they take. It doesn't matter. They will never outsell PlayStation on a major game. Never.
I know a lot of people are loving the whole Switch thing and being able to take your games on the go and all that stuff. And that's a great feature and everything like that. But how many people on the panel, like, come on, let's be honest. How many want a traditional console from them?
I do.
Can you imagine Zelda?
Traditional console?
Can you imagine Zelda using like Unreal Engine and stuff like that, man?
I've seen that in works, but see, Nintendo, you giving them too much credit. They're not a graphic company, and they never will be. Never.
I wouldn't say that. They have definitely improved the graphics and the engines that they use for the first part.
Are you
Yes.
really going there?
Have you? Yes, because Odyssey actually looks really good, and so
man.
does Breath of the Wild.
It looks okay.
Breath of the Wild don't
Odyssey,
look like graphically it doesn't look all that.
Let's get into the tech talk real quick. Let's talk about Odyssey. When you're running down the street in Odyssey, the characters are two-dimensional in the far plane as they turn into 3D people as they freeze. Please don't do this to Bloody. I don't want to go there. They're not a tech company. They don't care about graphics.
I didn't say they
Do you
were.
own Odyssey? Do you own Odyssey?
Yes, I do. Do you want me to go get it right now?
No.
Shit.
Do you go to the,
Oh,
no. Let's go into the facts here. Do you walk down the city streets? What happens to those characters?
This,
Oh wow, it's quiet.
No. I want to hear your rebuttal. Please tell me, my brother. I know I'm absolutely right. So don't ever tell me about somebody being they're a graphical company, because they're not. You know what they aim at? They will drop a resolution.
I'm saying that they have improved.
Well, they care about the frame rates.
The system is a little bit stronger, and the graphics has slightly improved, because the Wii U version of Smash Brothers is a little bit different
because they've taken
than the final version.
incremental steps. They've taken incremental steps with what they've done from the Wii to the Wii U to the Switch.
Okay.
Now, I'm saying if they did a traditional console, that means they would have to take significantly more time to actually put into it.
They had traditional consoles.
You just had a sour note with Bloody, man.
No, but because what he's saying is he's talking from a fanboy perspective.
I can
what
see
I'm
that.
telling you is from a Nintendo 64, which was advanced, to the GameCube, which was advanced, we got the Wii, which was negative, then we got the Wii U, which was worse.
We got a Wii U.
Now we got a Switch with a 3-year-old Tegra chip in it, and you bigging them up? Are you serious?
I'm saying that it was an improvement over what we had. Yes, I am.
I mean, y'all are really arguing over. Oh no!
I just Nintendo debate.
No. Hold on.
I didn't know Nintendo had this much energy.
Hold on. They do.
Actually making a new traditional home console is possible.
But hold on. They're not that type of company. They ain't been that company in fucking 15 years. Facts.
But he's asking a hypothetical. He is asking a goddamn hypothetical. He said, would you want one? I said, yes.
Somebody get the paddles. He's about to have a heart attack. He clapping hands.
No, I got the Nintendo hardware of this generation anyway. It's called the Super Nintendo Classic, and I love it. Thank you.
Facts.
All right. Livewire. Okay, that's it. All right, Livewire. Leave it alone. Livewire. What is your thoughts about it? Do you think that it'll overtake 2019? We're talking because PlayStation's still going to be dropping games. I know this because they ain't going to E3. They're still going to be dropping something.
There's multiplats, man. There's multiplats.
Right. And yeah. So I mean, do you think that Nintendo's got that stellar stuff to do it?
Man, I don't know. It's hard to say, man. It depends on what oh man, it's hard to say. Because I mean, people that
doesn't matter anymore, people.
I mean,
no, it doesn't.
Well, my thing is people that are buying the Switch aren't necessarily buying it for what the other consoles have.
Right.
You know I mean, because a lot of the games that they're buying, other than the Nintendo exclusives, are indies. They buy a shit ton of indies. And the reason why is cats will be like, oh no, well the indies, it's just more fun to play indies on the go. And indies, no bitch, you know why they buy the indies? Because they're cheap. Nintendo games are expensive as fuck. That's why they buy it.
Now, I do see that Zelda and Amazon is $7.50. So you need to jump on
I was on the Switch, right? I'm looking at all the exclusives, they're all like $60. The cheapest exclusive.
Yo, it is so hard to
find. But the indies, you can get an indie from $1 all the way up to, maybe a semi decent one might be $30.
Livewire, did you just get the Switch?
Yeah, just got that bitch.
Right. Okay, where you playing 2K at?
I ain't playing on that.
Facts.
Okay, so there we go. We're moving on. All right. Okay. All right. Look.
That's my point, K Mega.
Yo, Mega, great show, K Mega.
Man, it's fantastic. But this is what gets me in trouble, and then we go way longer than what we talked to because we stay on topics for like 3 hours.
That God of War thing, brother?
Yeah. The God of War thing. I don't want to start that trash again. Anyway, okay. So I'm pretty sure that y'all talked about this on Crossfire, but the Mad Box. Okay, so look, to me, this is what it shows is that gaming is healthy right now. Because gaming is healthy like it was in the 90s. And for someone that normally makes Project Cars is over here going to try to throw their ring in the hat with everybody else and try to make a console. And with this console, the Mad Box, this thing is supposed to be ready to go in about 2 to 3 years.
You're talking power, brother.
Yeah, and they're talking about they're going to bring the funk. So they're going to be like, we're going to be looking for that #1 spot. Not no Scarlet, not no PS5. We're going to be comparable to the PC. Now, of course, there wasn't anything labeled about pricing, but for all the other mumbo jumbo, I just want to know: is anybody here? And I'm going to start with you, Bot. Interested in the Mad Box, and you know what I'm saying? Would you consider this to be a contender up against the big three? And if Google is going to do their thing and Amazon going to do theirs?
Well, see, here's the thing. This is what I like about it. All right, you have a company that not only do they do Project Cars, but they work with other car companies like Porsche and stuff like that to do their driving simulations. So their VR driving. So this way, people aren't like crashing a Porsche on like I-95 or something like that, test driving and stuff like that, right? So, with that being said, the smaller company coming in and talking power and saying they're going to get into the console space, I like hearing stuff like that because, you know, at the end of the day, we got the big three. We have like Amazon with the shadow coming over the console industry. We have Google with their shadow. I would like to see that it's not just about the big corporations, that another company can come in and possibly put out, you know, a good piece of hardware that people might actually enjoy. I saw some concepts on the way it would look. It's got LED lighting and stuff like that around it. It does stand up on its side, so it does kind of really, it resembles a skinny PC, but it looked different. It was definitely eye-catching. At the end of the day, though, like I don't know what's going to happen, and it's 3 years, you know, 3 years down the line. So they got my attention to the point where I'm going to be watching them to see what they're coming out with, what they're talking about in terms of games. I do know that they're offering the developers their engine to use for free to put games on their console.
Right.
But we don't know what that means yet. You know what I'm saying? We don't know anything that's going to come out of this. We don't even really know if the console is going to come out. You know what I'm saying? They could be like, this is what we're working on, and all of a sudden, their funding like falls through the floor, and they got to stop it. But I am watching this because I want to see like a company come out that, you know, isn't that Amazon or that Google, and possibly give a good piece of hardware out there that might get people to think twice about the bigger companies and think about possibly getting the console from the smaller company. It's interesting, man. I want to see where it goes. Huh?
Oh yeah. Okay. Nice. All right. Now, Livewire. Now, I don't know if you've heard anything about the Mad Box, but again, they're saying that they claim here in about another 2-3 years, it's going to be competitive with the prices of the new consoles that's going to be coming out. Also, it's going to be VR ready, and it's also going to be 90 frames per second per eye. And of course, it's going to have 4K visuals. So, does this sound appealing to you? I mean, it's got like different colors.
It sounds like a PC.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like this, it sounds like what Steam machines
they
should
can't
have
even
been.
explain how the FPS is going to work. They said that they're doing 120 FPS, but they're giving 60 FPS per eye. That's just 60 FPS. That's
No,
not
they said
120
they said 90 per eye.
90. It can't
They said
be.
90. Yeah, they said 90
90
per eye. But go ahead, Live. Go ahead. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it sounds. I mean, it sounds like it's a cool thought. I mean, the green?
There's people out there calling it a dead box and stuff like that.
I don't know about dead box, but look, it's the Green Party version of a console group coming out, right? So they're trying to see if people gravitate towards it. I don't really see enough room for another console. I think that anybody else trying to, you know, have a platform like that is just gonna. Why build a console? You just do PC. I want to see the point at this point. I mean, because to have a console, you have to have games with it. I mean, like exclusive games for it. And Project Cars is not going to be what people clamor
right.
for the game. I mean, it would be different if it was like Rockstar made a console or some shit like that. That would be different. Then you'd be like, oh, Rockstar making their own console. These motherfuckers got money, and people love some Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead. So that's something to talk about. Project Cars, man.
Yeah, cold-blooded.
Hold on, does that mean Project Cars like 3 will be exclusive to the Mad Box?
It could, and that. Okay, what about you? What about you, Bloody?
See, here's my thoughts on it. Like, it's cool what they want to do with this, what this company wants to do with this project. However, I don't think they have. While they may have worked on PC games and stuff from before and know what they need, I don't think they have the funding. I don't think they had the technological know-how to build the architecture without it basically being a PC to make a home console or anything else. The biggest thing is I don't think they had the funding, nor they know what they're trying to do with it. The only other company, there's a few companies I could see really going into this who can make a home console, who knows what specs that they're trying to do. And honestly, I would give that to Epic because Epic has the self-publishing and the money to back it up, as well as they've worked with each of the consoles. They know most of the architecture as well as they do PC.
Well, they got a prototype that they're showing to the public, though. So I mean, they got stuff rolling.
The way they've been talking though has been very vague about a lot of stuff. Yes, they'll say things, but if you really want to go into detail about it, Lemon could really break it down. Like I'm gonna say that he could really break down everything that they said about what they're trying to do, but it's very generic what they've stated and what they're trying to do ambitiously. And what they're trying to say too is that they can do this all for under a couple hundred, even cheaper than what was capable with the X at 5. I don't believe anything that they're saying on that unless they're gonna start use pick parts from a PC. Here's the thing. There's two companies. I agree with what Xbox was saying, that I do want to see other companies coming into it. Google and Amazon are great with what they're trying to do because we're already seeing, especially with Google, they have their streaming on PC right now, and it works fairly well. Soul King, one of my boys, have used it, and he says that it has low FPS drops, it has high frame rates, everything. It works really well. There's no lag or anything like that. There's no delay. That's a good sign of that. However, if you want companies that are actually in the industry that actually have the capability of doing it, like I said, Epic would be the biggest one. They're already starting to see what they're trying to push with their market store. We saw Steam try to do it, but Steam didn't have the appeal for it. However, the other biggest one I would say is honestly CD Projekt Red. CD Projekt Red knows what they're doing. They've worked with each of the companies. They do PC as well as they also have a strong market because people forget that GOG, Good Old Games, is run by CD Projekt Red. That's where they get a lot of their additional funding outside of publishing.
Okay. All right. What about you, 108?
Well, I'm going to say this. Steambox was the end-all, be-all, put the PC in the living room in the console space. What happened? They came out. Wait, let me finish. Hold on. They came out with high-end models, medium-range models, low-end models. They're goddamn PCs. These dudes are aiming at the PC side of things. What they're talking about for this, being able to compete and all this crap, VR, 90 per eye. I have that right now. Right now. They're not talking anything over the top, extraordinary, innovative. They're not thinking outside the box. So what they're basically going to bring is their version of a Steam box. They're not. Name one thing they mentioned that's like, oh, that's a good mode. There isn't anything. So they're not bringing nothing to the table. And financially, I buy whatever I want. There's no space for 4 consoles.
Well, it depends. It depends with the Mad Box in terms of it being a PC or whatnot. It depends on if it's a closed system. It depends on what type of operating system they're using. If they are building in-house their own operating system, or if they're doing what Steambox did and just like slap Linux on there and like let it run off that.
That was the first mistake.
You know what I'm saying? And then with the Steam box, you had all these different companies like Alienware. There's a whole list of companies that were coming out with Steam boxes. That was probably their biggest mistake there.
No,
all the different companies
was
with
Linux. If it ain't ran by Windows, it don't matter. Nobody buys an Apple PC for gaming. Facts.
True that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true that.
Biggest help was, we're going on Windows, not Apple.
You see gaming PCs. Linux. How many gaming Macs do you see?
How many?
No.
I'm saying though,
but it's true. How many Macs right now that's being sold at Apple stores that take Windows? Facts. You can't stop that A train. These dudes ain't doing nothing special. They just want to do all this hoopla. Like that Onya, what was that thing called? Onya? Streaming? Ouya, something. It was whacker, flopper, out of here. GameStop stopped supporting it after 2 weeks.
It's the Soldier Boy.
Facts.
No, I think Soldier Boy sold more, to be really honest with you.
Oh, wow.
My brother from another mother, we had this conversation the other day, okay? We grew up through an era where there was at one time 4 or 5 consoles on the market at once. And then people start weeding them out. 3DO came out. There was the ColecoVision and Television. You still had the big boys and Sega and Nintendo. All these consoles. And what people did.
I'm sorry, Lemon, just real quick. My bad. I gotta. Dude, does this dude Christopher come to this show like every week?
Yeah, every week.
All right, check this out. Yo, Christopher, there is no way in hell. I know you're touting your Astrobot and all this stuff. There's no way in hell that the games library on the PlayStation VR can even compete with the Oculus or the Vive. All right?
Forget the library. You can't rock with the resolution, even though
we have the Oculus and the Vive in this house. My oldest son has the Vive, and Snap's got the Oculus. So I've been able to go in and play games on both. And he's like, well, you're not playing the right games yet. You're not playing like Astrobot and stuff like that. Well, I was like,
Astrobot is good though.
I'm playing like Beat Saber on the Vive. I'm playing Paranormal Activity on the Oculus, and there's no like I'm getting the experiences. It's not like I'm not playing the right games, man. He just wants that PlayStation label on everything, doesn't he?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but what I'm saying about this whole thing, first of all, they're a game company. And of course, when everybody talk they hoopla, everybody talk big shit. Like I said, the Onya, whatever, that shit was supposed to be the end all be all Android operating system. And what happened? Just look at the history of flooding the market with consoles. 3DO was the shit. It was $6.99. I owned it. Everybody had to come to my house to play that shit because motherfuckers wasn't spending that money. But guess what? As powerful it was, Road Rash was incredible. Need for Speed was off the chain.
Hyper Street Fighter, like that was crazy.
Facts.
Arcade graphics.
And guess what happened? It died. People couldn't afford to have multiple consoles. They chose their Sega and NES systems over it. Then you drop the Xboxes. You drop the PS1s first, and then the Xboxes. These dudes was done. And in the same era, Nintendo had 2 systems that flopped. 2. GameCube. Awesome system. I had the Panasonic Silver version with all the inputs. $500. Flop. Japan. Flop. Then they brought out the Wii. $100 million. Then they brought out the Wii U. Flop. So you trying to tell me there's a space for another company that don't know gaming because they make a title that's not that good? Looks great.
There'll be a lot of people. There'll be a lot of people that'll disagree with you on that.
Yeah,
we got to keep it rolling.
But what I'm saying is, there's no space. There's no space in the market. I just try to run down the history so people just get an idea of what I'm talking about. It's not space for a whole bunch of consoles. Dudes are complaining of having an Xbox and a PlayStation and got to buy multiplats because they want to play with their friends multiple times or multiple situations or PSN or Xbox Live, whatever it is. You trying to tell me there's room for Google, Amazon and this Mad Box. Yeah, they mad. They like the Mad King from Game of Thrones. They just mad. Something wrong with them.
Well, dude, I'm hoping like something shows up, because at the end of the day, I know I prefer Xbox and I like what they've been doing this generation, but let's be honest here, they're doing a lot. They did a lot this generation to make up for a lot of shit that they got backlash, from the beginning of this generation. Even though I wanted the always online Xbox One and everything like that, they started really catering to the gamers because they didn't want to lose their entire consumer base. And on that note, you see Amazon and you see Google coming in, all these mega corporations and stuff like that. You got to kind of try to root for the little guy sometime, man. You don't want it to where it's just all mega corporation in the industry.
I'm not rooting for nobody when it comes to my wallet.
I don't care about the little guy. The little guy got to blow my mind. You know what I'm saying? We got enough, but operations. You next, because I really want to get into the other topics before. I'm not doing a 3-hour show, guys. I'm not doing it. So let's go ahead. Operations, go.
Oh, I'll make it quick. Trash. Next topic.
All right. Oh, cool. Did I
kill the Mad King? Kill him.
I personally just think that. Look, I wish them luck, but they got to come with some dope ass games. They got to come with some dope ass games.
And you know why they not came mega? Because they're competing with another third party company in itself. They're a third party company.
That's what I'm saying. Plus the fact that they got to compete with companies that has a lot more money. The problem with what you were saying, and I'm going to be quick because I want to get to the next topic really bad. But the 3DOs and all the Panasonic and all that, they had the money invested. You know what I'm saying? But they don't have the know-how. Yeah, they didn't have the know-how. With TurboGrafx 16, all of that, they didn't have the money or the financial backing. The one thing that's the most intriguing about what's coming on with Amazon and Google is that they have unlimited capital. And so if they're all in like they say they are, then it's going to be very interesting. But anyway, let's get on to the next topic, man. And that is talking about the coalition. Now, the coalition is not only working on Pocket Gears, Tactics Gears 5, but they're already working on another game that nobody really knows what it is. So my question is to you guys, you give me your thoughts on what do you think that this new game that Coalition is working on, and do you think it'll be in anywhere? Will it be a shooter or will it be completely different? I'm going to start off with you, Lemon. Go ahead, go.
From what I read about a couple months ago, I don't know what it is, but they're in collaboration with somebody else on this title. It's not just them. So that's what I've read. I don't know what it is though. I have no idea, and I'm not gonna put myself out there.
What would you want? What would you want it to be?
Something story based with a multiplayer game, multiplayer.
Gears.
I mean, no, but that don't mean Gears. That could mean something that has a great story that has good multiplayer. Don't have to be Gears. I mean, we know these dudes are the Unreal 4 masters because the game that uses the most effects in the history of Unreal is Gears 4. Facts. So, I don't know what it could be, but I'm excited to see what it is. But I have no idea what it is because it's really when you go and try to research it, you can't find no hints at what it could possibly be. But I would prefer it to be an action game.
Okay.
Because they know action. They know how to keep you intense action. They do that. They do that very well.
Like that, man.
Yeah, once it got past the second level on four, it was crazy. It was a blast.
That storm by itself was crazy. Just that one scene with the storm.
When you first started the game, I'm like, oh my God, this is like Halo. Watch out. This is crazy.
It had drama.
Yeah, then when it went to the DB part, I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And then once
y'all need to stop hating on DBs. Dang.
Man, once it got out of them stupid ass robots, the real deal. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But anyway, I'm going to you since you said something operations. What do you think that this game could be?
I hope it's a Joanne Dark. I heard a lot of rumblings about that game. People praise it. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, even though I have was rare replay. So I'm gonna give it a try one of these days. And if I like it,
you never played Perfect Dark?
No, perfect. That's right, Perfect Dark. I never had a chance to play it.
Mute his mic.
He said Joanna Dark. He
no. He said he never played Perfect Dark. He has to go right now.
But he knew her name, though.
He knew her
That's
name,
got me
though.
some credit.
He knew her name.
Oh, damn, operations! You was my guy
he
till
would've-
just now.
Why are you so
If I was
I'm only playing.
I would have went to the loudspeaker and I would have asked, "Is that acceptable?" And went ding 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 because he said Joanna Dark. So go ahead.
But yeah, I do hope it's a perfect Dark reboot or remake, whatever they want to do with it. Because there's rumors about last year or year before that they're doing never went anywhere. So hopefully this one may allude to it, but I can't be too sure about it.
Right. Okay. Cool. All right. Livewire.
Yeah.
What do you think this year's game is going to be?
Man, it was a good guess.
Dude, he always sounds
He's
like
gonna say Echo the Dolphin.
Yo, I wouldn't mind another Echo. What?
Me either, but not by
Echo is
coalition.
Oh,
Why
it'd be
not?
fire. It'd be graphically insane. It'd be like Aquaman. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm a
Man,
mute.
I don't know. I mean, maybe like Showstopper always talk about. Maybe it's the Samaritan. I don't know.
The Samaritan. What?
The Samaritan.
What the hell is that?
It's a tech demo that they have for Unreal Engine 4.
Really?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. Okay. I thought this was going to go a lot longer, but that's cool. We can get through it. Knuckles.
Yes.
What do you think?
2 hours.
Hey, I don't always talk for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Megan, what was the question? Please repeat what you were about to say before you were so rudely interrupted.
Yes, you're right, Knuckles. Look, before you was rudely interrupted, what do you think this next game from the Coalition is? Because we already know that it's already been put out that they're doing tactics, they're doing the pocket Gears, and then of course Gears 5. But this other game is going to be something completely different. Do you have any idea of what this thing could be and what you want it to be?
I want it to be the rumor that we heard about earlier this year with Perfect Dark remake being done by the Coalition. Because of the fact that we know that Perfect Dark was one of the first FPSs and really kind of inspired what became GoldenEye and a lot of that, but it also did have a lot of the cover mechanics that would, be reiterated and seen over multiple iterations in games, from like Rainbow Six and everything like that to what cover system we got when Epic eventually created Gears of War, and how the Coalition's kind of been refining that from Ultimate and 4 and now what we're going to see in 5. I think if they wanted to do something different, they could do a first-person game with Perfect Dark and kind of go back to that cover system that still has very much that Gears aspect. But remember, they also had that in Rainbow Six Vegas. People forget that when you use the cover in Rainbow Six Vegas, it goes into that third person where it allows you to kind of shoot around the cover. But when you pop back out, you can lean or you can go back into the first person cover. And there was the rumors earlier this year, and especially when we were at E3, that there was talks that the Coalition had another project and supposedly it was Perfect Dark. Now that we're seeing that it's confirmed that they're doing a new unannounced project that isn't said yet, I would like it to be Perfect Dark, because I think knowing how much that technology of what that game started, how some of those aspects and gameplay mechanics haven't been used in a while, and how they can try and do something different from the third person shooter aspect. I think this is one of those games that could really do that, because a lot of people want to see a new Joanna Dark game, as well as it would give them a little bit of play to do a different style of shooter, do some of those older shooting mechanics that haven't been around, and yet still feel very much like them. It allows them to stretch their legs in another way.
Okay, all right. Oh, Sir X-Man, he says, I want them to make another Stranglehold by John Woo. But
Wow.
yeah, I would like to see that too, but that ain't going to be
Dipping
made.
into that bag for that one right there, man.
Yeah, that's a long shot right there.
Yeah. So who else did he go to? Did I go to Lemon? I
think you did. I think you might.
Oh, I might have skipped
I had
somebody.
to mute myself because I was laughing, but yeah, you went to me.
Oh yeah, I did go to. Yeah,
I don't think I went, man.
Oh, okay, good. So we can go to the next topic.
Wait a minute, Xbot and Bloody on the same podcast. They're confusing me. I don't know who's talking.
Oh, damn. Funny. Somebody in the chat was like, "Oh yeah, Bloody." Bloody is saying that they're using the same blueprint for all the Sony first party. I was like, no, that was me. I was saying that.
I think.
Yeah.
What's funny is Bud, because I saw him post earlier. He said, "Was that Bloody saying it, or was that Bud?" He's like, "I don't know anymore." And what's funny is we had the same confusion when we did the Game Awards show when I went on your channel.
Yeah, I know.
We've been talking about wanting to do this to confuse people for a long time.
Well, let me tell y'all in the chat. The only way you know Bloody from Xbox, Bloody's gonna start yelling at Lemon. That's how you know the difference. Once you start yelling at me,
Damn
you know
right I will.
Yo, I get pissed off at Lemon. I just get quiet, man.
So, Bob, what is so what do you think this game could possibly be, and what would you want it to be?
All right, this is what I would want it to be. You know, I hear everybody talking about Perfect Dark, and that's probably what they're working on. But when it comes to the Coalition, they have a foundation with Gears. They have this anchor where they can kind of stretch out and do whatever else they want to do. So I want them to do something that's completely outside of their range, man, to see exactly how talented, like on a wider range, these developers are with
Dream Mama
games. What genre?
Instead of Dream Daddy, they'll make Dream Mama.
No.
Hey,
I said a real game, like. But like I don't even know, man. Like action adventure game where you don't even have a gun in the character's hand. You know, kind of like what Playground is doing. Like they're known for the open world racing game, but you also know that they're working on Fable as well. You see what I'm saying? That's something completely out of their range.
The Sleeping Dogs open world fighting game.
Hey, why not do that? Like show the range, show the range of the studio. You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't turn out well, you always have your anchor. You know what I'm saying? You always have your franchise that sells a ton that people are into and stuff like that. You have an anchor to where you can stretch out and really think outside the box and do something completely creative with the studio. That's what I would want them to do. At the end of the day, I think you guys are right with Perfect Dark. If they are doing Perfect Dark, though, do something innovative, man. I don't want to see the same third-person camera, you know, taking cover and stuff like that. You know, with Joanna Dark, she's got all these gadgets. Do something new, you know, and put that out there. Something innovative, something that you wouldn't think of with the studio, and see how well you can do it, man.
Oh man, big shout out to Corey Hale. He said showing love from LA to the GRG fam. No doubt, LA in the house, baby. I'm waiting for my Rams. Woo! Next week to battle whoever they're ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to there, and cannot wait to get out there to E3 again. You know what I'm saying? LA was really nice. It was fun. You know what I'm saying? Y'all water's just too goddamn expensive. Other than that, you know what I'm saying? LA was dope though. Cyrus Burke, he said, fuck it. They should do a BioShock. You know what I'm saying? Look, I mean, if they could get the license to BioShock, that'd be cool, but that's not gonna happen. But yeah, I mean, but if you look at what one company, the Obsidian, that game looks like the new game. What is it? Outer Worlds or whatever. That looks like a new Fallout Vegas. That looks really dope. That looks really dope. So,
like Fallout New Vegas mixed with BioShock is a No Man's Sky appeal because it's like in outer space, but it has the like 60s appeal of BioShock while feeling very much like Fallout.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really dope. Like, I mean, I wasn't expecting that game to look as appealing as it did. You know what I'm saying? So, and I have not played Fallout Vegas. I do have it, but I haven't got a chance to play it yet. And everybody's saying I'm missing out because that's the best Fallout. But I don't know.
New Vegas, they really stepped up because of the fact that they added a lot of custom systems into the engine that was in Fallout 3, and it was really badass with their side stories and everything. Because there was no good or because in New Vegas there was no good or bad. It's just whatever you did, you would just kind of see what happened. You're just like, oh shit, you feel bad one way or the other because when you think you're doing a good thing, but it may not necessarily be good in the aspect of what you think. That's what I really liked, is that there was no good or bad. It was just a choice.
Right. No, and as for me, I really do think that the game that they're working on is a game that they were working on at first, and then they stopped to work on Gears, and that's Shanghai Knights, whatever that game is going to be. I think that's going to be the title that they're working on, because there was in the article that I read, they said it was a title that was previously worked on, but they stopped. And so they're going back to do it. So the only game I could think of was they showed the highlights. Where they showed that the trailer at E3 that one year, where they were showing the person, it was like New Year's Eve or something like that, and it was or some kind of festival, and somebody was sneaking in, like some kind of espionage tactical type of game where somebody like a spy, like more like of a Splinter Cell. That's what it reminded me of. So if they do something like that, then that's completely out the box, and that's something that will be pretty damn dope. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. But let's get on to the next topic, and that is talking about The Last of Us 2. Is everybody there? Everybody got really quiet.
Yeah, we here. I'm here at least. I'm always here.
Okay. Everybody quiet. I'm just okay. Y'all quiet. Anyway,
muted. We're listening to the fearless leader right now, man.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Anyway, so The Last of Us 2. There's been a couple of rumors. Now, take it with a grain of salt. One of the rumors is that The Last of Us 2 is slated to come out in 2019. They're saying that they're being very secretive about it. Also, in this rumor that they're saying that they're going to start bringing in-game currency, which means that they're going to go all in on their multiplayer. Now, on top of all of that, is that they're saying that they're going to be bringing the game out first, the single player first, and then the multiplayer will come later. Now, I'm going to go straight to you, Xbot, and I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your thoughts about this. Do you think that any of this is true, for one? And do you think that, and what do you think about now that PlayStation is actually really trying to get one of their big titles to go all in on multiplayer? Because that's something that a lot of people have been saying, that's what PlayStation has been lacking, is having that true multiplayer online experience.
I got to say, good job. If that's what they're doing right now, good job with them on that one. Because one of the things, everybody's touting all these games like God of War and Spider-Man and stuff like that. One of the things I like about the Xbox platform is all the big hitters that come out first party. There's some type of multiplayer element that'll add to the replay value, and I know Uncharted has multiplayer, unless you got the Uncharted collection. They took all the old multiplayer from the Uncharted collection, and so you couldn't do that. So it's good for them to recognize that they do have kind of like they have a shallow water, a shallow pool when it comes to first party and their multiplayer. That being said, like I don't see The Last of Us 2 coming out in 2019. Like if they had stuff like that, where are they for E3? You know what I'm saying? You'd figure that they would have, E3 is before the holiday season. You want to pump up kind of like the lineup to the gamers out there and their families for the holidays, because that's when people are basically making their bank accounts go to zero, buying gifts for family members and gamers and stuff like that, and they're not at E3. So that tells me that they really don't have anything to show. Now, the PlayStation experience, correct me if I'm wrong, is that December that usually happens? What month does that usually happen?
That's
December.
Yeah. So like I was thinking that maybe if their PlayStation experience was like a couple months earlier, then they can possibly be dropping a game like that. At the end of the day, I think they heard, kind of like the launch lineup, because these companies hear what's going on from one company to the other. They heard about what Xbox was doing, and I think that they're holding games back. Last of Us might come out cross-gen. A couple of their games might come out cross-gen, but I would look at that more like early 2020 at the earliest, in my opinion, man.
Right, yeah, because you would think that they would show that game a lot more if it was going to be slated to come out this year. Just knowing about Sony's track record, but I don't know. But what about you, Lemon? What is your thoughts about all this speculation? You think it's true?
Well, I have no idea, man. But I'm gonna tell you what I do believe. I had a conversation with a GameStop manager and an employee try to tell me that Sony showcasing their games, and I want everybody to pay attention to what I'm saying. They're showcasing their games at the PlayStation Experience because they want to do it their own way. Now, we all know the biggest electronic gaming show is E3. And everybody's saying Sony's not going to be there. They're not going to showcase their AAA titles. But you know something? This is not the key. Don't they got marketing deals with different companies to showcase their games on that stage?
Well,
they have
we don't know
marketing
that.
deals.
They
like, don't
did.
know,
Yeah.
I mean,
like
I don't know if they're
E3
up,
like,
but let's just say they go into 2019 and they still have the marketing rights to Call of Duty. Where is Activision going to show that at? You get what I'm saying? You have these deals in place. They got Red Dead Redemption. I doubt that's going to be up next year. Say they drop in new content. What do they showcase it at? Does everybody go to Xbox?
Well, a new Red Dead Redemption is not coming out.
No, not a new one. I said content. Like, say, a season pass.
Well, yeah, they can still show commercials for old games like that, but for a new Call of Duty, a new like that those things tend. I mean, from my understanding, that contract is up in 2020. I mean in 2019, 2020. So I don't know.
I mean, these indies they put on the stage. What about Capcom and Street Fighter V? They want to make an announcement.
PlayStation ain't really put a lot of indies like they did. They did used to, but they ain't the indies' friend anymore, like they were when it was hard.
Because it was not financially beneficial to them. But I'm just saying, I don't know if these rumors are true or whatever, but I don't know. I just think, like the whole idea is just not a good idea. That's just me from a gaming standpoint.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Operations. Do you take any of this with a grain of salt? I mean, they're going full detail, talking about this whole multiplayer aspect of putting in-game currency for customizations. There even was a rumor that they were saying that they were going to get dedicated servers, but then this article says here from DualShockers, it says there's no dedicated servers. I guess this is just for PvP. But they're also they're looking for people they was looking for people for programming and for constructing scalable ecosystems for the service for players to enjoy, blah 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 blah, all this other stuff. But they want to build on the multiplayer that they had in the old Last of Us, because it was really popular. It just wasn't as robust. They feel that they can enhance it, but to send it out later, instead of bringing it all together as a package, would you think that would work?
Only if they're going to carry the same energy that they're getting an incomplete game.
I said operations.
What's going on, man?
Look, you take too long to talk sometimes. Damn it.
It was literally a half a second.
No.
You jumped right. You were waiting for that. Get out of here.
I was. I'm not gonna lie. I was.
Somebody's vaping like Lady. Somebody's vaping like Infamous.
That's
vaping like Infamous. That's getting messy.
That's about it. Anyway, go ahead, Operations. Damn.
I mean, if they were to, it won't be nothing new. Red Dead did this. They released a single player first, then the beta for the multiplayer a couple weeks later, like 2 or so. So if they want to do the same thing, it won't be nothing new to the industry. But as far as like in-game currency, this is nothing new. If they do it, that means that they probably have a way to buy the in-game currency with real money. And all that means is more money in their pockets to support further projects and support the game. I have nothing against that, as long as the game's not broken with the balance and whatnot. But like, if they're trying to build upon the multiplayer mode for this game, that's good. Why not add potentially more longevity to their game, get more people buying, give more people a reason to visit the game, potentially buy more microtransactions if they have to. If all this is true, this is good for the game. But if they want to do a staggered release, there really shouldn't be an outrage about it. This is really not a bad thing for the game. Hopefully, it doesn't like mess up their schedule as far as finishing it. I prefer them release it a full package, but if they want to do a staggered, and it is what it is. I just want the game to come out right.
Right. I totally agree. I think the game is going to come out right. I mean, it's had a damn decade to come out. So, I mean, it's got to come out right.
Right.
That's the one thing I just don't hear that energy, that same energy about. They can talk about Crackdown, but man, I mean, The Last of Us came out in 2008, 2009? Something like that? No, 2011.
Last of Us
12?
12. I'm sorry. 2011, 12. Damn near a decade. Come on now. I gotta get my math right. Anyway, so okay, Bloody, go ahead.
Okay. Like now you're just telling me, just go ahead. You don't even give me a set. You're just like go
Just
for it.
Go for it.
Just go. So here's the thing. It's cool that they're getting if they are doing this, that they're getting a dedicated multiplayer, because there has been multiplayer in the Uncharted game. I don't think there was multiplayer in the first Last of Us game, but still they had a multiplayer aspect.
No, it had multiplayer. It had a dope ass multiplayer.
Was it in the okay? Well, still the fact is they're using one of their big exclusive series right now to really push the multiplayer aspect. I know that they were using Uncharted for the longest time, and that's good. That's cool for those who like it. It does have its appeal to a lot of people. It's very fast paced. It's very mobile. It's a very what's the word, aerial style of multiplayer, because of the fact that all the claw and hook and stuff and jumping around and all that. That's cool. That's good for people that want it. If they are making in-game currency, if they are doing microtransactions and like this and wanting to support this multiplayer after the game launches, that's a good thing, because there's people who want to continue playing that game. Give them something to continue worthwhile playing. However, here's the thing. If there's going to be this in-game currency in any of these microtransactions, keep it cosmetic. Let the people who want to spend the money spend the money. If they don't, they don't have to. When it comes down to the aspect of it starts going into the pay-to-win aspect, kind of what we saw with Battlefront and others, that's when it gets bad. However, if it is going to launch with the single player first, which it should, because the single player is the big aspect, and then launch with the multiplayer later, one, I want to see consistency among the fans who say, hey, the game's shipping incomplete. It needs to be that way. But at the same time, I understand that it can be different, because we kind of saw it with Red Dead. However, Rockstar was very open with what they were doing with Red Dead, is that they wanted to focus and get the single player out first, and then release the multiplayer in a beta test later, and then open up to everyone, which they did after a month. They gave plenty of people to test the game, play the single player, get what they wanted out of it, and then go into the online. But it still comes down to the fact of, if they are doing this, they need to support it right. They need to make sure it's not over the top. It's not going to be the worst kind of microtransactions. I want to see consistency from the fans who are going to say it. If you're going to defend it, give a solid reason, not just, oh, it's because Sony's doing it. No, I don't want that excuse. Give me a valid excuse on why it's okay that they do it and no one else. Like, legitimate.
Do people tell you that really it's because Sony's doing it? Like, it's because Sony's doing it. That's why it's great.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, everyone complained about the microtransactions in Forza Horizon or Forza Motorsport 7, and that there was
that never existed.
That didn't exist.
Yeah.
That never existed.
Right.
I'm gonna say one thing for Sony. They shouldn't. The Last of Us, the multiplayer was fine, but it was hardcore. It took some thinking. You had to make weapons on the deck, like bombs and stuff like that. It's not for everybody. Uncharted.
Was it like the multiplayer for the first Shadow of the Tomb Raider, or the first Tomb Raider?
Well, no, Tomb Raider kind of copied that.
Okay, then I can totally do that.
So it was like that. It was for the hardcore crowd. They only can get maybe like 2,000 people a month to play out of all the people that bought it. Same thing with Uncharted. It's not very popular. If they want to focus on something online, goddamn, bring SOCOM back, because they had millions of people playing.
Yo, guys, you want to hear something crazy? Little off topic, but I want to share this with you guys. Yo, an insider hinted to me that for PlayStation 5's release, they are gonna have Horizon Zero Dawn 2 done and ready to go for when the PlayStation drops. Yeah.
I you know what? Then that's a topic
crazy right there, brother.
I know. Look, we can get into. Let's finish this topic, and then there's one more topic that we can barely touch on. But I do want to touch on that before everybody goes, though, because that would be pretty fascinating to talk about the the launches of what the PS5 and what the Xbox can do. So, all right, let me go ahead and go to Livewire. He'll be the last one on this topic, and then we got this last topic.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was you asleep?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Wake your ass up. It's your time. All right. So,
what was the question?
So do you think that basically, do you think that, because nobody didn't even say this, but I think do you think that The Last of Us 2 is going to come out in 2019? And do you think that they're going to separate it like they did Red Dead, where they're going to bring the story first and they're going to bring the multiplayer later?
Come out in 2019? No, I think it'll be.
They don't announce it. If they do not announce it before E3, no.
Okay. All right, that's good. Simple. I like that. Thank you. All right, let's get to the last topic, and then I want to get back to what you were saying, Bot. All right, this was a pretty interesting little thing. I mean, this is. I think everybody goes through this to one state. It's called the. I was reading an article talking about the lapsed gamer, and basically what it is that there's plenty of gamers out there because these games keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There are people who will jump into them and they'll play them, but then they may love them, but then they stop playing them because they're too damn big because life takes over. Now, my question is to you guys. What do you think the industry, and anybody can jump in on this, what do you think that the industry should do? I think, me personally, me just watching Odyssey, playing Odyssey, they did it perfectly. And I can't remember if they did it in Origins. I just know that they did it. I've seen it in Odyssey, where they have two different modes. They have exploration mode, and then they have just basically going through the story mode. I think if more big storied games like The Witcher in Odyssey and Origins and etc., if they start doing more of this, I think that could help out on people that just want to have a maybe 10 to 20 hour experience than to say to have a 50 to 100 hour experience. What do you guys think?
Hold on. I really believe this is coming from a person who don't complete none of those games. I don't have the time. But you know what?
You're a fraud, bro. You're a fraud.
No, I'm not a fraud. I buy everything that comes out, and I got a plethora of a selection.
Oh, but did you put the pinky up when you said that?
Oh, but it's just like I'm the minority in the situation, and we're the minority that go out there and buy all these games. They need those games for people that can only buy 5 or 6 games, or 6 games, 7, 8 games out the year to get that longevity and the enjoyment. So I don't think they should ever stop that, because I can't complete it. That don't mean there's many people who can. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think they should just keep doing it because, you know, like I said, I'm the minority. I buy everything that come out. I'm buying every title from January 1st to goddamn April. Everybody can't say that. Am I going to play all those games as much as those other people? Hell no. But I'm going to own them. But sometimes I'd rather be that person who can't buy all these games to get the satisfaction of completing and enjoying these games on a mass level. So I think they should keep doing it.
Okay, so but you don't think that something that could have been a better option for you to where they can have a reduced mode to where you don't have to.
I'm gonna bring you up to a situation.
All right.
Forza 7 endurance races. You felt like you really accomplished something. You actually put how many hours into The Witcher?
386 hours.
Did you enjoy all of it?
God damn it, I did. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I ain't tell them to make a long game that's trash, but if you get the experience, it don't matter. Because we talk about games when we didn't have it like this, playing for hours and hours, completing them 2 and 3 times. You know, Dante's Inferno, I completed 4 times. The last time I completed was on Xbox One X. It's a great game.
You just remind me, I gotta complete that game. That game is fire, yeah.
It's fire. What I'm saying, it's about the experience, and you can get into something and be emotionally tied to the character and just say, I love this series. So if you, like UK Mega, you do those big endurance matches, you the only person I know beat The Witcher. If anybody else in this panel speak up, if you beat it, let me know. But he's
I know a couple people. I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I said if I know who I know. You understand?
I'm telling you. I haven't beaten it. I won't deny that, but my roommate. No, see, I started the second one, but I never finished it because I got caught up with something else, and I was like,
what
"Well,
I'm
I don't want to
saying
play
is-
3 until I beat 2." But my roommate beat it 100% at everything, and did all the DLC. Like he has every achievement in that game.
And what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, don't stop making it because person like me who buy everything can't do it. I enjoy to hear King Mega talk about these endurance races, 3-hour races. Motherfucker, I ain't doing that. Give me a 2, 3, 4, 5-minute race. 3 hours. Shit.
3-hour race. Yo,
Yeah,
did you do the money thing, man, where you were racing around the whole, you did 50 laps around the whole island in Horizon 4 just to get a few million?
No. I haven't done that yet. I'll do that. No,
But he will. But he will.
Yeah, I'm talking about on Forza 7 when I did those 3 endurance races. There was one that was like
those shits were hot, yeah. Those shits were hot.
Yeah, and then like you had to go down that big ass German track, like I think it was like 100 times or something like that. It was like 80 something like that. And then the biggest one was the track that you went across. I think it was that endurance race that I think you had to go. I don't know. It took like 3.5 hours, like anywhere from 2 hours and 45 minutes to 3.5 hours, something like that.
What I'm saying is, don't appeal to the minority, appeal to the majority. Keep giving people big games, big content, big hours to play, and it's more bang for buck. Because if you're gonna charge $65 compared to another game that's 20 hours or 10 hours or 4 hours single player with multiplayer longevity, I'd rather have a game that's 308 hours or 300 hours plus that I can enjoy and have more memories of. Because after I play Call of Duty single player or Battlefield single player and I beat the hell out of people in multiplayer, I'm ready for the next title. And when you play those type of games, you invest in your character and it means more to you. You need more games with meaning.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be a 2-minute brother. Get in there and put that work in. Pants off, dance off. Facts.
Oh snap! Anybody else want to jump on this?
Yo, well, when it comes to the length of the games, there's something called pacing, man. And unfortunately, when it comes to the last few titles of Assassin's Creed, I thought like their pacing of like putting side objectives on the map and everything was very sloppy. Before you knew it, your map is completely overrun with all these little icons here and there to go and do all sorts of shit, which actually pulls me away from the game. I like what Lemon said. It's not necessarily about like how much content is in there, but the quality of it. And there are games that you will go back and you will play over and over again. With that being said, I like having more content in games rather than the DLC drop, because there's one thing that I am very frustrated with Forza Horizon 4. I feel like their DLC came out in the quickest amount of time I have ever seen in a Forza Horizon game. With that being said, they fractured.
Came out pretty quick.
They split the game, the gamers base there. They split it quicker than I've ever seen it. Like when it went into Game Pass, I'm like, all right, thinking about like past like Forza Horizons, I'll be like, oh man, like half a year or something like that. You know, everybody will be playing together, getting all the content down, racing together, and then they'll drop DLC. And I feel like they dropped this island DLC the quickest I've ever seen them do that.
No, they dropped what's called just as fast. They didn't drop it as fast in 3, but in Forza Horizon 2, they did drop that that Fast and the Furious DLC really quick.
But that was a play. You could play that by itself though. That wasn't a split the player base DLC. This island is. You know what I'm saying? Because now people who bought the DLC or bought the season pass, that's where they're spending most of their time right now. Right. All right. So now people who are playing it on Game Pass or whatnot, they don't have the entire community anymore to go in and play that game. And I don't necessarily like that. That is a concern that I'm going to have moving into the future with games offering DLC. Are you going to like drop it like 2-3 months after the game release?
I mean, that's normally how it works, though.
That's not. Nah, man, that was really quick, dude. That was really quick. Trust me, man.
With 3, they dropped.
No, that was the quickest in Forza Horizon franchise history.
I don't know, man. I do think, man, they had the.
I played all of them. I played all of them to death. And You can check my papers, dude.
I'm not saying that you didn't buy it because I raced against you when I played it.
Somebody check the fans police report.
But but the thing of it was with me is just that I don't know. I agree, but then I disagree because I mean, look, it's not like people can't go and get it. And if you got it in Game Pass, they had the DLC on sale, and if you couldn't get it then, it's still going to be on sale. I mean,
dude, how much time? But hold on, how much time are you giving people with the standard content before adding the content to it? Like, to me, I feel like, like 2-3 months down the line, like that was a full $60 game right there. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then 3 months down the line, for people who only bought the game, 3 months down the line, you're fracturing the player base.
But I mean, you're not really fracturing. People can jump right back into it. There's plenty of content in regular.
Brother, I know it's an Xbox exclusive, but I'm gonna call bullshit when I think it's bullshit.
That's got nothing to do with it. Come on, man, you being messy. I'm just saying, like, I mean, you just think about COD. They dropped their DLC.
Yeah, but COD is bullshit. I don't even buy COD because it's bullshit.
I mean, okay. Case in point right here, Battlefield 5, right? Just Battlefield in general. We've already got the DLC for the new map and
free DLC.
No, that's if you bought the premium. For people didn't buy the deluxe edition, they didn't get that. I don't think, did they? They didn't get the other map.
I thought they gave it away. Everybody premium. Everybody went premium. Yeah, everybody premium.
But by normal standards, if they didn't buy the DLC, they dropped the first map just in a couple of months.
I know, but when you're talking about Battlefield 5, that's in and out of the DLC because the DLC is mapped. So you'll have the newer maps mixed in with the DLC maps, and it's kind of like a tumbler. You know what I'm saying? You might play the DLC map 1 second, but then you're playing the original map the other. So you're not getting such a fracture in the player base there.
I can't look. I'm
making sense, guys. Come on. Anybody else on the panel? I'm making sense here.
Xbox, you're making sense. I agree with you.
Oh shit! Stop! No, don't coach on that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I can't feel that one. I can't feel that. I can't feel that one. I mean, look, you know what I'm saying? This is the reason. Okay, if you're talking about COD, if you're talking about Battlefield, if you're talking about even Red Dead, all these other games where you got to pay substantial amount of dollars for their DLC, they normally drop them early. I mean, around the same time. And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? I can't see how anybody can really complain when they had this damn sale and if you got it through Game Pass, you pay $10 on top of $40. That's less than what you paid in the whole fucking game. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yo, I shouldn't. Yo, and others think. Hold on. Others think in the chat. Others think in the chat. Yo, brother, I've seen you hear other shows, man. Great supporter.
Hey, before I go on, did anyone pay the bills?
Oh,
yo, that's coming. That's coming.
No, because.
Hold on, brother. Damn.
Battle of the boys.
I had 2 months to play Forza Horizon. 2 months. $60. 2 months. And then I had to throw in, even with the sale, another $10. So this way I'm there with the gamers that go on to the other island. Either way, it's splitting the player base after 2 months, man.
Listen, then you should do like me. Just pay the $100 and then you be good. You ain't got to worry about that shit, son. You ain't got to worry about that. Budget your time to pay that $100. You love Forza just like I love Forza. I mean, that could be like, look, this is one thing that I'm definitely going to start doing, especially after the end of this year.
You don't think they did that because they are giving the game on Game Pass? They felt like they can get the
They've been doing that. They've been doing that. They've been doing that.
All right, let me pay the bills. Sir X-Man, he said,
that's what
79 laps. I did it. Nice. He knows it was 79 laps. I knew it was 100. Well, there's another one that's 100.
Yo, buddy, the only difference is you tried to do it right in mid-sentence when I was talking, man.
And I kept telling you to stop. We got to pay the bills first. Then you can yell at me.
Yo, listen, let's make more water. You screaming. Let's make more water.
Because it's bullshit. Yo, I don't care if the game is exclusive to this console, that console, PC. If I see bullshit, I will call
it. You call bullshit.
No matter
Facts.
what. And
I
that right there
I don't
is
think that's bullshit.
You're telling me I should spend $100 on the game just so
Hang on.
I can do
that? But here's the thing. Everyone still has access to the base content. They still get to play that content. It's not
player base within 2 months.
No, they don't. You can still play with your friends, and they got the content you don't. And you can play. You can play on those tracks or whatever. Just ain't got the cards and stuff.
No, the only thing that's doing
how
you can't play on a new map if you don't have it.
You can't.
No, you can't.
Oh damn.
No. What you mean? Oh damn! What,
no. I thought.
But
after 2
months, I'm still saying, you still
months.
have access to the base content. Everyone still who's playing the base stuff will still get to play the base stuff. If they don't want to pay to get the new maps, then that's a them problem. Yes, it sucks that it's technically splitting the.
Well, damn, why didn't they just come out with that a week after the game release? Why wouldn't they do that? A week after the game release, drop the DLC.
Battle up
There will be a backlash, man.
You will not buy the expansion. You will not get
Don's in the chat. Don's in the chat. He says, "Wait, Xbox 448. You got it on Game Pass, so you got a great deal."
Matter.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Hold on. Am I not a gaming YouTuber? Am I supposed to only talk about my own personal experience, or am I supposed to call bullshit for the community?
No,
I am supposed to call bullshit for the community. It doesn't matter about
but even still, if people who are playing the base content, whether they bought the actual game or they bought it through Game Pass, if they are playing it through Game Pass, they are getting the base content at whatever price they put up.
With a discount with Game Pass on content on season passes.
They did not want to buy the additional content, if they did not choose to get the deluxe edition at the time, they are choosing actively that they don't want to play the expansions. If they want to get the expansions later,
I am telling you that they have never dropped the expansion 2 months after the game released, man, is what I am saying. And I am saying that is way too early.
Your operations break up this fight.
Through that mountain.
Listen. I want to make this one point, but I'm gonna make this one. I'm gonna make this one last point, so I can shut that whole theory down. You sit there and you got Destiny, right? Okay. Didn't Forsaken just drop just a couple of months ago?
Yeah.
Okay, and now did you just bitch about the other content that just dropped just a couple of months ago? I mean, just
what game have I not played? What game have I not played in 2.5 weeks?
But
I stay consistent.
You're avoiding the question.
You're avoiding my question,
How am I avoiding it?
Okay, go ahead.
They did it with Dark TLOU, and then they did it again with Destiny 2 with Warmind.
But they have been.
When did the first? Hold on. When did the first DLC?
Oh my God! No, still stop.
Did the first DLC for Destiny 2 drop 2 months after Destiny 2 released?
Yes, because it came out in December.
Yeah, because they dropped the other content. They dropped that other shit.
The first one was called Curse of Osiris.
Yeah, they dropped other content.
That dropped 2 months later.
Yeah, and then they waited a year to bring the one where the guy
the wolf thing.
2 months later after Curse of Osiris, or
I'm not talking Destiny 1. I didn't have that.
You didn't have Destiny 1, but you're a Destiny 2 fan?
Yeah.
Mute his mic now.
Get out! Get out!
Nah, don't get out.
No, but no, this is the thing right here. This is the thing, though.
They did the same thing in Destiny 1, but
right, and they
2 months after December, they dropped content separated.
And I didn't buy Destiny 1. Gee, I wonder why.
Oh, stop it! But you did for 2 though. But you just bought. Okay, you got the first.
Also.
Yeah, you did Forsaken, and then they just dropped something just a couple of months later. This one you said that you didn't like. See,
Call of Duty does it too. I mean, we shouldn't ridicule.
Yo, I don't buy Call of Duty.
But you gotta call out Call of Duty because they do it too. They do it too.
Hold on. I'm just giving Xbox an example. Has nothing to do with you purchasing it. But I'm telling you,
I can
getting
pretty
off
much
Forza,
understand
but there's
why people get
mad
pissed over Call of Duty.
doing the same thing. I'm gonna name the game that never did that in the history of gaming. Halo 5. All content was free. Nobody gets left behind.
That was the way it should be, yo. When it came to microtransactions, the rec packs were the right way to do microtransactions in the game. Yeah.
But what's another game that does that? That took that same format. Overwatch, very successful, 35 million sold.
Yeah, well,
everything is cosmetic. Gears of War, everything is cosmetic. There's no season pass for Gears. Everything you want to purchase, golden guns with moving veins, blood running off of them, cosmetic. You choose to buy those things. That's up to you. That's what everybody should be doing. But everybody don't do that. But you can't destroy a game for doing it.
All right.
You can't do that.
Okay, so that's it. That was the last topic. Now, I do want to get back to that so we can get out of here. Go back to what you were saying in First Bite. That you were saying about that the informant was saying that the PlayStation lineup is going to be basically
I talked to somebody who knows stuff within the industry and with Sony as well, and they're pretty confident that Horizon Zero Dawn 2 will be ready. It's been like really under wraps. They haven't been, they've been trying to keep it, under the radar. Haven't talked about it at all, but Horizon Zero Dawn 2 possibly ready for the PlayStation 5 at launch. And I mean, that's a huge thing right there, man. When it comes down to it, we're talking Xbox and what, with Halo and stuff like that. I really feel like Sony is going to hold back some titles that, we had thought with the PS4 for like the last year of it, either cross-gen or strictly going over to the PlayStation 5. But it looks like Sony for the first time within the beginning of their console, like will have a
AAA title.
Yeah, a decent launch lineup with the PlayStation 5. And that's going to be crazy. You're going to have like the new hardware from both Microsoft and Sony with, a nice launch lineup with both hardwares. The only thing that's the difference is with Xbox, if you have Game Pass, you're getting all the first party stuff with the launch lineups, like for $10 a month. Yeah.
Right. Well, and check this out though, because this is crazy. Because if the person, since that your informant told you this, then just think about how serious that lineup is going to be. Because I do not believe The Last of Us is going to come out in 2019. That's hogwash. PlayStation has not brought out a big major title at the end of the year, except for a game that they felt comfortable of bringing, which was Spider-Man, and that was in September. So you know what I'm saying? They just kind of threw GT Sport.
Well, they brought The Last of Us out basically at the end of the PS3's life cycle.
I'm talking about a PlayStation 4 with because they had all these multi-plat deals.
I'm just saying that they do have a history of doing stuff like that, though. I mean, if they were doing stuff like that, you would figure that they would be at the world's biggest kind of like gaming conference and stuff like that. So that's what gets me to be like, I'm not thinking 2019, possibly early 2020. They come out with the PS4 version. And then a PS5 version,
right?
At the end of the year with the new hardware.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So just think about this, just for the three games that I'm presuming that's going to be launch titles for the PlayStation. The Last of Us 2, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, and then you're going to be talking about Bloodborne 2, and then probably on top of that, Dusk Till Dawn 2. That's a sick ass lineup, Jack.
but I am going to say this.
That's a sick ass lineup. If that's true.
Halo will outsell all of them combined.
Well, okay, but hold on. You know what? And I totally agree, because since Halo's going to go over to let the PC players grab that motherfucker, it's going to sell insane.
Without the PC side.
Right.
Halo is the #1 selling game day one.
I get all that. I get all that. But I get all that. But this is the point I'm trying to say on this, right? Is that then if Sony is holding back like that to bring out those type of titles at launch, then that means that they have an inside scoop of knowing what Xbox is going to be bringing. And could it be tit for tat, the big boys against the big boys, where you got Halo at launch, you have Fable, you get Killer Instinct
and Forza 8.
And Forza 8. Also, well, hold on. That they also talked about that there might be making another GT as well. If those two lineups are basically kind of going to be like that, then my God,
dude's gonna
when it comes to Halo, guys, when it comes to Halo, you got to remember, like, people aren't thinking sales anymore. It's all about active users. Now with Game Pass, I can almost guarantee that Halo Infinite with Game Pass and the Halo community out there and what 343 is saying about going back to its roots, if they get that community all riled up for the next Halo, they're probably going to break records for active users on release day.
Yeah,
but they do that every Halo. That's why people overlook. You know, every time a Halo drops, breaks a box office movie record every time out. That's the only game first party that does that. People forget that. You see, Grand Theft Auto is the other game that do it, but that's a multi-plat. Halo is the only game on one console that does those numbers. 550 million in 3 days. Who does that? Halo. Gears don't even do that. Gears got longevity sales, always hit $1 billion in revenue, but Halo.
Well, when it comes down to it, Gears
breaks each Halo before.
Still kind of like the newer title out of them, because the original Halo came out on the OG Xbox. If it wasn't for the original Halo, we wouldn't have had a 360 or an Xbox One.
No question.
Right.
See,
go ahead.
I come from Brooklyn, baby, and Halo 2 had the streets of Brooklyn looking like the city.
Oh yeah,
it was thousands of people in the street.
Dude, I remember that release, man. I remember that
crazy. When that dropped, Halo 3 was bigger.
Yeah.
The two biggest lines that I stood in to get a game at GameStop was Halo 2 and Modern Warfare 3. Those were the biggest games that I ever stood in line. And I'm talking about lines. Well, and then my third would be Grand Theft Auto 5.
Mega Halo 2 almost had a fight on the line like it was Black Friday.
Bro,
they was skipping people.
I brought my son. I brought my son. At that time, he was like 7 years old.
I brought about 15 people with me. We was gonna jump somebody.
Stop it. I brought my son with me. He was 7 years old, and I was like, we'll just go in here and we'll get it, because I'm used to, maybe standing in line. We went to the mall, and when I parked, I thought it was a church event going on, because there was a church kind of close to the mall, and I was like, damn, whatever. And when I pulled up, I was like, what is the mall still open? Like, lines went all the way from the GameStop, looped around in the mall, in the middle of the commons area in the mall, and went outside. We stayed out there for 4 hours to pick up that game.
That's probably the one thing. The one thing I'm really gonna miss as kind of like digital, really takes over in the gaming industry is because there was nothing like waiting in those lines, getting to know the people around you, talking about different like gaming stories and stuff like that. Exchanging gamer tags, like you know what I'm saying.
You don't like it? I was out there talking mad shit. Lemon 23 is the gamer tag. Anybody think they can see me in Halo? Just sign up for the ass whipping. It's free. It's free. No, that's what I was doing. That's real. That's what gamers do. Like I said, I started that campaign for a reason. Gamers talk with the controllers, not with Twitter fingers. No shot at you, Knuckles.
Anyway, all right. So, do anybody else want to touch on this before we get out of here? Because I like if PlayStation brings that line up, it's going to be a treat.
I'm copying all that.
It's going to be a treat.
Another thing.
One of my favorite PlayStation games this generation is Horizon Zero Dawn. No doubt.
Yo, Mega. Unfortunately, and I'm still holding out. I'm holding out faith. I'm holding out hope for this, but I'm also hearing something else, kind of like behind closed doors in terms of Fable. Think more like 2021, but I'm hoping it's there for the launch, man.
Well, I don't really hope it. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's going to make it either. I think that there's going to be a surprise game that's going to be on there, and there was something like, oh damn, that's what I wanted to go to. Shit. Okay, we got to get out of here. All right. So I was going through that list that you posted on next on the DMs, and I was going
January
through
list.
Well, I went all the way.
Oh
Jack.
damn!
I went all the way
because
Jack.
there are a lot of games coming out in January. A lot of them are under the radar, man.
I know, but I'm over here. I went all the way. And what was crazy is that they were showing that they were showing. Of course, they showed Tekken. They told Street Fighter versus Tekken in 2020. In 2020, I was like, what? But there was also showing a Turtle Rock game that had an Xbox insignia behind it. So I wonder if Turtle Rock is one of those companies that Xbox is going to acquire.
And that was a rumor.
Because I think that whatever Ninja Theory is working on is going to be ready to go for launch. No telling. I don't know what kind of game it's going to be, but I think that
can't shoot they load at launch either.
Well, Xbox has got themselves primed to where they're going to have games all through this next generation. They're not going to bullshit this time. They bought 13 studios, Lemon.
Yeah, no. I have faith in them. I just don't. Nintendo.
What you mean do a Nintendo?
Nintendo shot they load.
What you talking about? Nintendo only got what? They only got how many IPs? They got Xbox bought more studios than they got IPs.
No. I'm saying Nintendo shot they load. Like we know we're getting smashed. This year don't look that glorious for Nintendo in terms of titles. It just doesn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they only have what? Maybe 14, 12, 10, 14?
And a lot of them circle around the same dude.
Okay, that is true. You gotta give them that. Yo, hopefully they drop that Metroid this year, man.
Yeah,
hopefully they drop Metroid.
But I told K Mega in the private conversation, that's not a 16 million seller for Nintendo. That's not that's a small.
Yo, Nintendo. Well, Nintendo got a fan base out there that they scoop up first party like no other. Even with the Wii U and how little the hardware sales were there. Yo, their first party game
sells 1 for 1 with the console. Facts.
They have the highest attach rate. Yeah,
they have the highest attach rate. But that's always a Nintendo thing since the NES.
Right.
That's not like nothing new. That's what I was talking to K Mega. I'm buying everything first party Nintendo. I'm not buying the third party games though. Like I told Live, where you playing 2K at? This is what it is. That's what it is.
You don't want to bring Doom with you to play for like 2 hours, huh?
Nah, dude, I'm good.
No, man.
They gave me 60 frames.
There was a lot of good games on the list, though. There was a lot of good games on the list. I'm talking about for 2020. They're going to Call of Duty Modern Warfare remaster is coming. 2 remasters coming, which I could definitely see that popping off. I mean, greedy ass Activision, but I would have to copy. Also, they showed in 2020 King of the Fighters is 15 coming to the Xbox. Elder Scrolls 6, and this one I'm not so sure about, but I mean,
Elder Scrolls is gonna be a while, brother. I got King of the Fighters.
No, I'm talking about Grand Theft Auto 6. But I mean, if you really Auto did come out last gen. It didn't. I mean, there hasn't been another Grand Theft Auto.
No,
so, I mean,
not. That's last gen. The first next gen game is Red Dead.
Right.
Rockstar. That's
they've only brought one. This generation game. That's it. If you think about it. Anyway,
they don't need nothing else selling.
Let's get out of here. $1 billion
in the week.
All right, let's go to our guests, man. Thank you guys for being here. I said let's not do 3 hours, and we already fucking almost did it anyway.
They still watching.
Still watching. That's it. Anyway,
Content.
Xbot, thank you for stopping by, brother, because we were looking pretty light. But anyway,
no doubt, bro.
Man, thank you, man. Tell everybody.
I feel like I pulled the double tonight. It's weird.
You did.
Yeah.
Moose ass is getting ready to pull that double too. I've got to hit his ass up. So he's gonna set up. He's gonna come on. So tell everybody where they can find you at and what you got going on, man. You gonna stream tonight?
No, well, dude, it's already past midnight right now, man. The good thing is I got all the gameplay all in already.
Who was first?
The next podcast. Oh, Mega, you are. Actually, I was, to be really honest.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
But I will say K Mega was incredibly early, or as I like to say, absolutely on time.
Oh, prenatal care, baby.
I was able to work with everything. Guys, next podcast tomorrow night on my show, 7 p.m. Eastern. It is rocking a fresh new coat of paint, and I will let you guys know right now. I have decided that when it comes to next podcast, we are going into seasons, and tomorrow is the beginning of. I know this is going to sound like it's a little late here, but season 2, episode 1. All right,
I respect that, but proud of you.
So, after, what was it, like 190 episodes on the first season, we are going to go, I think we're going to go yearly. So season 2 will be 2019, going into 2020, we'll do season 3, so on and so forth. But the production value has jumped up even higher on the show. So definitely come and check it out. Check out K-Mega's gameplay, my gameplay. We got the Don's gameplay and Nox in there with a couple cool little interactive things going on as well. You definitely want to check that out. And follow me on Twitter as well. I will let you know on Twitter when we are going live for the next podcast. So you want to do that at xbot448.
Woo! Yes.
Nice.
You just check my channel, and then you'll see, like, on the side, I have people's name. I have people's channels to go look at that I recommend. xbot448 is there. So go ahead and check my boy out. Also, man, our other guest, man, OP Operations. You know what I'm saying? I mean, are you going to change your name this year in 2019, or are we going to keep it on this? Man, where can they find you at, man?
He still can't decide on the name.
I don't know.
Oh, no. Where'd you go? Oh, he's fine.
If Livewire is asleep, eject those seat, cuz.
No, I think it's live. Live ain't sleep. It Operations gone. He left. Anyway, so all right. Well, okay, Knuckles, you can speak for Operations.
Yeah, so you can catch Operation over on my channel on Bloody Knuckles on the Smash Podcast every Saturday at 8 p.m. with the rest of our crew with Soul King and the boy Super G.
Or 9 p.m. Eastern on my time.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, look who finally showed up.
All
Yeah,
right.
I forgot to turn it off.
Oh, man, are you just talking and nobody can hear you?
You gotta give a shout out to the dude that got that Van Damme split avatar. Woo!
That's One Piece.
I know who it is.
Oh,
okay. So lost for a second. Like, what?
Oh, yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? Okay, anyway.
I'm too young for this reference.
I was like, it's getting too late past your bedtime. Anyway. All right. Livewire, our Donald Trump, man. Appreciate that you can come make it after this busy time that you've been going through, man. What's going on? Where can they find you at, bro?
You can find me out on my channel. I was supposed to do a podcast today, but I couldn't find time. I was stuck on a project and that just took too long.
You should have invited me so I can curse all over your channel.
Just, we don't even talk games. We just be talking curses and shit. Me and Lemon talking. They're like, motherfucker, shit. Motherfucker, shit. Goddamn.
Jiggling. But Live, you the one who said you got a dog shit channel anyway, so why not talk the dog shit on the dog shit?
Yeah, well, you know, hey.
On that knuckle.
I could do that, man.
Knuckles was messy tonight. I know that.
You got something in that vape.
Oh shit, yeah.
I'm not the one with the vape.
Well, I was
That's
gonna say,
bot.
who else is vaping besides me, man? I'm the vapor here, dude.
Oh, damn. Y'all two sounded like one of y'all gotta come in here horse.
He's sick.
He said,
All right.
"Really don't gotta wear that."
Yo, Doug, here's what's gonna happen when it comes to YouTube. I'm gonna give you my password, and you're gonna give me your password, and we're just gonna switch every once in a while.
Yeah, one of y'all
people,
get sick,
man.
just swap
Oh,
out
okay.
like twins.
So-
But y'all
so
like
we're just
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
No, forget that. We're gonna Freaky Friday this shit, or we're gonna do Parent Trap. We're just gonna swap places.
Oh, man.
Dude, I would let you run next podcast, but I'm not sure if you can handle all that production, man.
I mean, to be fair, he's probably right.
All right. Okay, cool. Now, 108 Dragons Television. Where can they find you at? And
Yeah, listen, y'all.
what you got going on?
Y'all can find me at 108 Dragons TV on every platform possible. Shout out to everybody.
About to grab just graham crackers and milk. Lay my ass to bed. Facts. Okay, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. That's all right.
Shout out to everybody that always come through and support our podcast, man. We always try to give you a great situation, great information, and just, bottom line from our hearts. Shout out to Xbot and Operations for stopping through. And I apologize for being late, man. My wife was calling, but I still left that sexy little beast to come here and do this podcast. And like K Mega was saying when I first came in, I'm starting some BS out here in these gaming streets. A lot of dudes get on Twitter, YouTube, and talking about this gaming situation. Instead of them gaming,
Stop putting me out on stuff like that.
No, this has nothing to do with you, son. You play games. Damn. But it's about, content creators out here. We want to get, these different groups, and we're going to be streaming live. We're going to get in here and get competitive, and y'all going to see who the gamers are. Put your controller where your mouth is. Facts. We're going to get these games going. Woo! That's what we doing here. 108 Dragons on everything, and support my big brother from another mother, K Mega. True-hearted, real gamer, and his, listen, man. Check them gamer scores. Some of them achievements, y'all can't even read them. Facts.
Okay, good shit. All right, thank you for the support. I'll pay you later. Again, we got Bloody Knuckles or Baby Bots. Where can they find you at?
Man, they can find me on my channel, youtube.com/Bloody Knuckles. The O is a 0, the E is a 3, and of course it ends in a Z. They can also find me on Twitter, doing my thing, on Facebook, as well as on Instagram, all at Bloody Knuckles. They can catch me streaming at any time during the week whenever I'm going, and I'll make those announcements on all those platforms at mixer.com/Bloody Knuckles. Of course, they can also find me on the Saltiest Gaming Podcast over with the Saltiest Gamer, and hit that crew every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Time, here every Friday with these guys on my channel on the Smash Podcast at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Your little corner for all things anime, manga, TV shows, your little corner of nerdy news and geeky goodness. And of course, they can also find me on the Tick Games Network channel doing my project that I'm working on with the boy JD called the Otaku Fix. We just put up episode 3 earlier this week. So if you want to go check out what we thought about for 2018 for anime and what we're looking forward to in 2019, go check that out.
That's a commercial. That is too long, man.
But I got one more thing to say. This is real talk. Shout out to my man Xbot, man. The dude be on everybody podcast.
Yep.
Yes, all love to the Xbot.
And he supports everyone.
Yep.
The dude is a real dude. Shout out to my man K Mega from introducing me. The guy be out there putting in that work. Go check out that next podcast tomorrow. That gameplay is incredible. Don't vote for K Mega. Vote for Lemetius.
Oh,
get on there.
Watch that trash ass gameplay. Don't want to hear that garbage. Anyway,
shout out to Xbot, man, for real.
Yeah, that's all right. Bot stepped away. He's over there probably rubbing on old Snap's feet right now. Gotta do what you gotta do. You went late tonight. Anyway, so yeah, thank you guys for still hanging out with us. I don't know what happened. GRG, we was over here 2 hours and then we gone. After the ladies left, look what the hell that's happened. Jesus Christ.
We keep going. We keep pushing 3 hours. God damn it.
Content don't stop. Content don't stop.
Shut the hell up and let's keep it moving. Anyway, but thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's been great. As usual, man, 2019's big things. I got, speaking of presentation, you know what I'm saying? I had a setback because I really hadn't got a television instead of this PC. So I have to make my plans and make them delay them a little bit and then have everything ready to go, hopefully before the GRG second year anniversary, which is next month. But I want to go ahead, which is crazy to me that we even still going like this. It's 2 years, but I appreciate all the support and everything. It's been great. You know what I'm saying? You can just hit me up online. I'll talk to you, or in the DMs on Twitter or whatever. Just want to have a little small talk, whatever. Because I you know what I'm saying, I'm a gamer. I like to talk about stuff and just keep it moving. And I play whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just none of that crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if this goes left, I'm out. I just keep it moving. But other than that, it's all about gaming with me, and I love the community. You know what I'm saying? No matter what.
Hey, Mega, crumb side is the dumb side. Facts.
Crumb side is trash. And big shout out to King David, man. Got to sit there and talk with homeboy last night. Dude, wow, man. And you know what I'm saying? A big shout out to Megatron. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Everything. Look, everything is coming together nicely. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, when you step away from one thing, you sit there and you start seeing the potential in others. And so it just seems like that, regardless of how everything comes, everything will be reunited and back into the way it was sooner or later. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm excited about the future of what's going on with GRG and the fact of what's happening with all of us on this panel. So, man, thank you guys for hanging out with us and hope that you stick with us throughout the year. But everybody knows, man, it's time to get out of here. And you know what it is. If you ain't playing the games tonight, or you got to take your ass to work tomorrow, what you got to do? What you got to be doing?
Dance off. E3 2019, bitch.
Let's go. We out.